What is more important? Peace in all of its forms or control in all of its forms? It's just something that you kind of live with. It's like, what do you call that? What's that? The circle of life. It's just that's just what it is.
I mean,
You know?
we got the Circle of Life crew right there,
Yeah.
and Funko Pops.
Got to get the what is it? Slimy, crunchy. It's one of the two.
You got to get the crunchy ones.
You're the crunchy.
But I think Timon, he likes the slimy ones. Pumbaa likes the crunchy.
All right.
It's preference, but
Seabass, what team are you? Team slimy or team crunchy?
if you had to eat bugs,
Oh, crunchy for
Go.
sure.
You guys are crunchy.
Yeah.
That's fair.
yeah, I mean, you could like. I feel like if I had to eat bugs, like
You guys are saying have to, like it's not fun, like they don't taste good. Have you guys not eaten
I've
insects
eaten,
before?
I've had a roasted cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like highly seasoned. Like if I'm talking like straight off the ground,
I feel like you're taken away from this, man. You ate a bug.
I mean,
I think that's something to be proud of.
I had chocolate insects before.
yeah, that's,
Exactly. You've had what?
Chocolate covered insects.
Oh, okay, chocolate covered.
Yeah.
I thought you. Never mind.
And then,
Anyways,
before that, just regular insects.
there you go.
I do remember at a summer camp we dared one of the guys in our cabin. We're out in the woods. We found like one of those legit like big green like just grubs, and everyone was like, "Hey man, we'll buy you like whatever you want for the rest of this camp," which was like probably like 5 or 6 days left in the summer camp. It's like we will buy whatever you want from the canteen if you eat that. And he just said, "Screw it," threw it down, and he said it tasted like a sour Skittle.
Nice.
And then, like, when you hit the little beak part was the only crunchy part. And he's like, outside of that, just it was like a big sour Skittle, like just squishy and gooey.
Nice.
And then we told our counselor, and he's like, "You did what?"
That's
He's like, "Please describe this more." And he just started like trying to, "Hey, is there any bugs that are out here that if a camper ate would die?" He's like, was it a what?" So, but yeah. But speaking of adventures, how was Vegas?
Dude, Vegas was amazing.
I mean,
It's something different. You know how we'd have like a scholarship program and we'd fly guys out there?
yeah.
Yeah, no. So I went with my dad. So he paid for everything. So, thanks, Dad. Thank you, God. That was awesome. But it was the most amount of shows that I've seen. So we saw Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
And it was unlike anything that I had seen in any other Cirque du Soleil shows.
Well, don't they have like themes with the Cirque du Soleil? Like, was it like what kind of theme was it?
This was just the OG
Oh,
Cirque
okay.
du Soleil. I think it was
French clowns and
like no. It was still cool. It was like mysterious. The thing, and maybe it's a me thing. Maybe I haven't reached that level of artistry yet in my craft.
okay.
I never understand the Cirque du Soleil things. Like I can read the bio,
Yeah.
and then I try to connect it with the story, and I'm like, I don't.
This just doesn't click.
Yeah, it's like, how does every story, like, okay, this is the sun, the moon, the stars. Okay, but then this is a contortionist, and he's an armadillo. What?
There's a disconnect somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
I'm missing a part of it.
Like, make it make sense for me. I'm not feeling it. I'm not catching what you're laying down.
Exactly. But outside of that, did that. Saw Mind Freak, which is awesome.
Chris Angel, yeah.
Yeah, the Chris Angel.
Bro, I remember when the year we stayed at the Luxor, and I think he was like was he at the Luxor still, or
He was no. I think he was at Treasure Island.
okay, yeah. Sometimes they move around.
Yeah, because why not?
Why not? You know,
Yes.
different place, different resort, different contract.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, did he do any like what was the craziest thing he did?
What was the craziest thing that he did? I mean,
It's all crazy.
to me, he's really known for like his levitation, and so he did some levitation stuff, and I'm like, okay, no idea. I have no idea how he did that.
Yeah.
I have no idea. This man basically teleported from like the sheet thing to underneath this other thing, and I'm like, don't know how he did that so quickly. That's wild. I really like how he just took a New Amsterdam bottle, poured out shots to like 4 or 5 women on stage, and then put the phone inside of the bottle. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And I was like, how's it going to get it out? And he's like, all right, there you go. Have fun. And she's like,
Can you get my phone out?
can you get it out? And he's like, are you amazed? And she's like, but can you get my phone out?
Yes, please, but is it going to be water damage?
And so it was interesting to see all that.
That's just the thing. It's like, okay, let's just pretend, like, or like believe, whatever you want to say, it's real. Like, there's just legitimately somebody out there who's got the ability to do that kind of stuff. I would really hope that God would distribute that kind of power to somebody that's like responsible. Because I mean, if I could just teleport your phone into a whiskey bottle or something like that, and you're a jerk to me, like, oh, bro, it's like could
That's fair.
could really get in some kind of trouble with that. I mean, you know, it's just like, like the jerk that was driving. I was driving here today, and some guy was swerving through traffic, and I mean, it was in a little crappy like Nissan from like the '90s. Like it was not. I was like, bro, your car's not even cool. Like why are you driving like you're like you obviously didn't gotta be anywhere.
Nothing to lose.
Not, I guess, but then like he came like really close and swerved through me like 2 or 3 times, and I was just like honked at him, and then he gave me like I just saw his little scrawny hand flip a bird at me, and I was like, bro,
Mm.
if I had that power, literally I just
Drop your phone.
oh bro, just all of a sudden I just teleport your phone out of your car so it just bounces down the highway.
Okay.
Yeah. Just minor inconvenience. Teleport your transmission to like the other side of the world.
I don't think either of those is a minor inconvenience.
I mean, he deserved it.
This whole statement started with someone responsible needs this power.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
To be fair, that is the
That's
thing.
so true.
I would get these minor conveniences like, oh, that lady cut me in line. Phone in milk jug now.
Dude, can we talk about lines for a second?
Yeah, let's do it.
I, as an adult,
Yeah.
do not trust lines that are like unless I can see where they're. I don't trust them.
Oh yeah, like one that's wrapping around the corner and you
Like if-
think it's to the event you're trying to go to.
No, it's not. It's never to the event.
No.
And if it is to the event, guess what? I'm gonna find a way into that line. One of the things that always gets me, State Farm Arena.
Okay.
You're telling me there's only one entrance?
True.
You're telling me there's only one entrance,
To the entire.
right? But there's 25 exits, but there's only one entrance.
Control the flow, but are you really?
And I talk to staff, and they're like, "This is the only entrance they're letting people in." And I'm like, "Yo, they have got this. This is
It's
they
locked.
They are mind freaking people here. Bro. There's no way that this is. You know what? Yeah. Oh, this is the only entrance. Okay. And then I'm walking around the building because I don't trust it.
I mean, that's a fair point, though. I mean,
Lines.
I've seen at like amusement parks, I've been at, I think it was Six Flags here. Or, no, maybe it was Callaway Gardens or Busch Gardens or something like that. It was one of those amusement parks.
Mm.
But all of a sudden, like it was getting late in the day where they start closing the rides. And we saw like the people in the vests like walking down the lines counting. And it's like, oh, no. And they said like, this is the cutoff. I'm so sorry, guys. This is as long as we can keep the ride open. And then it's like we got turned away.
Mm.
So when you brought that up, that was like the thing that is like that fear of watching them about to end in the line. It's like you're not going to make it. You just have no choice. You're not going to make it. They have all the control.
They do.
Or like kind of like you said, like you're waiting in line and then all of a sudden you realize you're not in the right line.
Mm-hmm.
So all that time you've wasted, you've only been getting further delayed in your progress.
Or worse, it is the right line, but there's a shorter line. That's my main thing. This is the correct line. There's just a shorter one.
Mm,
And I don't like to me, like, that's the cost of convenience.
yes.
And it's like, I'm willing to be inconvenienced to walk around to see something else. And I also don't, maybe this is a me thing, but when people cut in line, I'm like,
That's
you're,
just
you're disgusting.
it's like people who cut in line, people who litter while driving, people who are jerks to service like staff members. Mama didn't raise you right. I'm just saying I ain't talking bad about your mama, but she failed you. Like those kind of, I mean, dude, it's those kind of little things that people show their true selves and just like, I mean, if you're just sitting there and you're eating like a candy bar and you're driving and you're like, your friend's driving around and he just all of a sudden throws the candy wrapper out the window. I'm like, well, we're not friends anymore. I'm, just can't be. Just like, bro, you don't care about stuff. Or if it's like someone that's just a dick to like a person serving them food, excommunicado.
Right?
Done.
It's like, do you not understand? They're bringing you food. Clearly, you haven't seen any sort of media out here where people mess with your food.
It's like, especially, it's like you're gonna be a dick before they bring it out, bro. Like, what are you getting? I gotta get the farthest. Like, you're getting the steak. I'm getting chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure there is no
Yeah,
cross contamination.
exactly.
You want to split some nachos? No.
I don't.
No. But yeah. Oh, but one thing I was gonna ask: did you see the sphere? Did you get to drive by the sphere and stuff?
So yes, and when I tell you I got to see the sphere, I mean like where we were staying.
Yeah.
It is, in my opinion, like the closest structure, like the closest like living structure. Like there might be like another like parking deck or something around it, or like roads or whatever.
So you had a clear
This is
view.
the super clear view
Oh.
to where if we had a room on the side facing the sphere,
You could have seen it
would
24/7.
blind us.
Oh my god.
I'm sure that they had to put in extra blackout curtains for that thing.
Oh, dude, I've just seen so many videos on the sphere, and with Fish, the band being there right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I've only heard and seen videos that just make me go, I want to be there so bad.
See, and that's like one of the. It's like cool, but not cool, because I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the sphere. My dad's like, oh my gosh, we're gonna go to the sphere. It's the main thing that he's excited about out of everything in Vegas.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to go to the sphere.
It's a new thing.
Yeah. Well, also he doesn't drink or gamble.
Well, I mean, hey, that's good on him.
Outside of the sphere, the next thing that he wanted to see the most was just a Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah.
Like the fancy big one in the
No.
just a
Just a Dunkin' Donuts for coffee.
hey, America runs on it. So.
Yeah. So, no, we didn't go to the sphere though.
But was it as cool as the outside as like everything that I've seen on the internet says?
Yes. Honestly, it's honestly better because whatever camera they took it with, like your eyeballs are even.
Well, funny
more
enough,
more.
I've been really just like as a musician, there's things that Red Rock is one of the biggest the big places. I'm like, oh, I really want to play there. Everyone, of course, wants to play Madison Square Garden. It's iconic. Red Rock to me is iconic. And then after seeing the Sphere, it's like if I can do a residency at the Sphere, like in however many years it takes to be that famous and successful, even just to play backup, I don't care. I will jump on a bill with somebody just to be like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, dude, but is your dad like a Dunkin' Donuts fanatic? Does he every morning go get it? Is he just?
It's not even every morning thing. I think he's just a creature of habit. Because he's like Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like Starbucks. He's like Dunkin' Donuts. Any other place with coffee? Dunkin' Donuts.
See,
So it's like okay.
I can respect that. I mean, but it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm definitely Starbucks is definitely overhyped.
Speaking of the, I was at Chick-fil-A the other day.
Yes.
And I order my food, and I'm waiting, and I always go by the little dispenser of where you can get your ketchups, your napkins, and I'm like, oh, look at that. French vanilla creamer.
Straight.
And then I get another one ready, and I notice that there's a guy standing to my right, and I'm like, oh, my bad. Sorry, I'm in your way, my bad. And he's like, oh, no, you're not. And I was like, okay, good, because I was just taking shots of this creamer. And he goes,
What?
were you really? I was like, yeah, I'm going to get out your way, though. So I get out of his way, and they call me for my food, and I go back to the creamer after I get my food. Because I'm like, I have a friend who's in the car, and I'm like, oh, maybe she wants some creamer with her coffee.
Fair enough.
But also, I'm going to drink like 2 more.
It's free.
And so he goes, excuse me, are you actually drinking that creamer?
Just straight.
Straight? I was like, yeah, I do. And he goes, well, son, enjoy it while you can, because when you hit your 50s, you're not going to be able to do that. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, believe me, I'm a cardiac nurse. Now, I believe him, but it's like, you're a cardiac nurse, but the reason why you're here is because you're door dashing. And I'm like, does that mean you're a bad cardiac nurse?
Or are you just bad with money and a cardiac nurse?
I don't know how much money they make, but I was like, I was like, hey, you know what? Thank you for the wisdom.
Yeah.
And then he poured on me some more wisdom. And he was like, guess what? Here's the thing about growing up. You're always in for something. So it's like, and an older person's like, here's the thing about growing up. Someone's like, okay, dude, tell me what's up. You feel exactly the same on the inside. Your outside just changes. And people treat you how you look on the outside. And I was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Okay. Thanks for that. And then
Just one more.
yeah, dude, because why not? He's absolutely right. I might not be able to do that when I'm older, so
Do it now.
Drink it now.
I just had to look up. It's like, how much does a cardiac nurse make?
Yeah, how much do they make?
So this is from Indeed.com.
Oh my gosh.
It's
I don't trust him.
per week. It says the average ranges from $1,800 a week,
Okay.
or $3,100 a week.
Okay.
So I mean, and then salary.com says 57 to 90,000 a year. So I don't understand why that cardiac nurse. I mean, maybe it's just honest to God, it's just like student loans.
Could be, but I feel like if you're a nurse and you got student loans, don't you? If you nurse it up enough, it gets forgiven.
Yeah, I mean,
So that can't just be for teachers. You're telling me you teach long enough, they forgive you. But if you nurse or doctor long enough, it just they just don't. I mean, I guess I can understand doctors, but like
Yeah.
nurses, it's like it doesn't count.
I didn't think any student loans were forgiven.
Oh yeah.
well, you
no.
can't declare bankruptcy. Even if you die, they just pass it on to somebody else. Like,
For teachers, if you teach for 10 years, they will forgive your student loans.
yeah,
So it's like all the money that you would be making if we actually paid teachers like their worth. They're just like, don't worry,
we'll take care of you later, but
we'll
you
got
gotta
you later.
we gotta stick in
You
it
got to
though.
be 10 years in the game though.
Yeah. Oh
It's
my
got
God.
to change you as a person.
You gotta survive.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, there's so much that, like teachers and stuff, like just going on a tangent about like. I mean, definitely, I think they need to get paid more,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that there needs to be, as a novice, a casual, if you will, it's like I feel like they're not getting educated like we were. It's like there's all these other things, and granted, the world has changed, so that's why I kind of say, hey, maybe I have a little user bias here, just like. I'm just like, oh, they need to do like we did. Like I've gone on plenty of tangents about why I think they need to go back to books. Need makes them stronger. It's like carry the textbooks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you only read two He hates Seabass hates, like we've argued about this, but I'm saying it teaches you responsibility. You forget your math book in your locker because you couldn't figure out how to do your schedule. I'm just saying.
They
There's
want people to carry books so they're physically stronger.
Yeah,
It has
that's-
nothing to do with education.
if you're physically strong, you can be mentally strong. That's the correlation.
I love it.
So
Don't have to build any Legos, but you can be physically strong and
Hey,
mentally
man.
strong.
if you hit the Legos hard enough together, they will stick.
Something like that. I don't
Something
know.
like
I
that.
don't know.
Meatheads
Oh,
unite.
man. One of the scary things about school in America was brought to my well, I've always known,
Yeah.
but one of the best examples of that, I was in the post office one day,
Yeah.
and there was a middle-aged father with his young daughter, and there was an older woman, probably in her 60s. She was probably in her late 60s, and she's talking to the father about the daughter. And I guess the daughter is somewhere in high school, but the dad says, yeah, they're reading, it was probably like Fahrenheit 451 or something of that nature.
Yeah.
And she says, oh, yes, I remember reading that in high school too. And I was like, huh, I don't like that.
You don't like those the same book?
I don't like that it's the same. You're telling me other books haven't come out that have not been like as influential, if not more influential than Fahrenheit 451. Like I get like there's like an American literature class. I get like there's a history.
Yeah.
And it's cool to know history and whatnot. But for 4 years we're in high school. We're reading a lot of the same stories that have just always been there.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily understand why. That poem about not the poem, the actual preacher, what was it, of the Puritan era, sinners in the hands of an angry God? What do we need that for? What do we need this? Scarlet Letter. Dude, I totally get where you're coming from. The message, the imagery behind the Scarlet Letter,
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
To Kill a Mockingbird. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's other books out there that could teach you more than that.
Honestly.
That you could draw references from. Because we all know literary terms. Like we get onomatopoeia, we get personification. There's other stories that can be used to where we have these literary devices to be actually able to teach kids.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel very stagnant that this is where we've come in, say, like 40 years as far as learning and teaching our kids. Not necessarily learning, but teaching our kids as far as literature.
Well, I guess it's kind of like the thing or the idea of like history class is always going to get more and more difficult, like because we're constantly adding to history, so there's more to teach.
Mm-hmm.
There's things that have happened in the last 20 years that we think is pretty crucial to changing the way that the world has gone. So I mean, it's like, and I half and half agree with you. I feel like there are some like cornerstones that we need to like To Kill a Mockingbird. I think Fahrenheit 451 is definitely a good thing to kind of say, hey guys, you see that's the parlor walls. Like you go to your friend's house and they have an 80-inch TV on their wall. and they have like it is kind of scary to look at Fahrenheit 451 and see all the like the seashells in your ears that's telling you the news. Like people listen to podcasts and stuff, and they're always listening to like somebody, some talking head, or there's a lot of things that have just added up. Or like the Beetle cars that are like Teslas, like going super fast. Like literally, the Teslas are some of the fastest accelerating cars on the road, and it's self-driving. I mean,
But 4 years of that though.
I mean, yeah, but to be fair, like that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like it's like that's a cornerstone. So it's like a Shakespeare, like
No, but I'm not saying get rid of Shakespeare. But just like your example with history classes,
it's always growing.
there's going to be more history. But
Yeah.
like, where have you heard growth in literature class? Like, they have to teach more history. Like, there's no way around. Like, kids have learned about Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why. Like, oh yeah, no, 9/11. They totally know about 9/11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're gonna teach about COVID if they're not already teaching about COVID. But
Yeah.
as far as the adding of books,
Well, maybe it is just because it's just there's so many. Like I guess the other idea is like there's so many things added because there's tons of authors out there. It's like I don't even know what. And this is my fault because I'm not a big reader. Trying to fix that, but it's like what books to add in there. Would it be like the Hunger Games? Like you let them read through the Hunger Games because that kind of shows a dystopian kind of. Hey, when the government gets all the control, they kind of make all the poor people fight.
They're not gonna put that in the schools for that reason.
Well, exactly. I think that's why they're trying to get rid of like To Kill a Mockingbird, Fahrenheit 451. They're trying to, do other stuff. But I don't know. Like I said, I halfway agree with you. There should be other things, maybe stuff that's more, I should say more or less dated. So it's like, things like that. But I don't know. It's maybe just even offering like a. You put something that's like like a spin the wheel, like you got like 15 books, and it's like they're all in the same genre.
Book wheel.
Yeah. Because I mean, like there's what was it? I remember they gave us an option. I would always just choose the book that had the shortest pages. Like it had the fewest pages in the entire book. Yeah, not shocking. I know.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised by the least.
Yeah, I had weights to lift and stuff.
There you go.
But I mean,
I was under the assumption that the shorter the book is, the easier the read it is.
No,
even though that's not always the case.
And I learned that the hard way because they're like, this is a book that has only 400 pages, but that's the text is 9 times smaller. It's like, so it's just tiny little words in a small book, and it's just like, no, they just put more on less pages. Yeah, and so, but yeah, no, I can agree. There's things that need to be updated, but I think that might be because it's easy, honestly. It's easy not to have to change the curriculum or find new books or go to the curriculum board or however they would even implement like new books to like kind of talk about stuff. Because then, but anything good's not easy and anything easy's not always good. So I could feel like it just might. I'm not, and this is not me dumping on teachers and like the people. It's like just saying like I can understand it's probably a difficult process, so we'll use what's been working. Kind of that ain't broke, don't fix it. But
it is broken.
It's broken.
Theme to follow.
Yeah.
To talk about oppressive governments in a way that's actually beneficial to some degree, just giving you actual warning signs.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that theme draws so close to just becoming a manifesto of whatever the author.
Well, and that's kind of like
it would just be their personal manifesto of what the government's done to them or their close people. Meanwhile, these are supposed to be metaphor based because usually they change. Like I don't remember as much about 451, but like Animal Farm's the one I remember.
Well, I mean, the other one that
What is that?
the animal what? Yeah, what'd you say?
Yeah, Animal Farm.
Oh no, it's
like AP Lit, bro.
It's a book about essentially how these animals are facing their oppressive government, which is the farmer. Because he dictates
who
what
dies,
happens at what time during the day, and whenever an animal becomes unuseful to him, he needs to find new ways to find use, like sending a dying horse to a glue factory.
What grade was this in? I don't.
Sixth grade.
I read that in sixth grade,
Oh, that
maybe
doesn't
seventh
count.
grade.
Yeah.
We didn't read back then.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Well,
count.
it's like, I mean, talk about the manifesto stuff. Like, the guy that killed John Lennon, he said that he was inspired by Catcher in the Rye. It's like somehow he read that book and it's like, I need to kill John Lennon. It's like, what? Huh? What?
Couldn't play in video games.
Couldn't play in video games at that time. Yep. Quit reading books, kids. It makes you more violent.
There you go.
But I mean, yeah, I, there's so much, and I mean, it's like to attack the problem. It's like I feel like one of my big like things is like as people in a society, we need to kind of find ways to build wealth so that way you can't be stuck in like working a 60-hour work week, so you can actually invest in your family. Like if we invested or got like, and I feel like I do see this in people now, like they're seeing like, hey, I don't want to work a job for 50, 60 years and retire. And they're kind of like saying, how do I like, oh, it's not sports betting, as some people claim. It's like some people get, betting is never the way to go. I mean, not saying it doesn't work, but like, there's tons of things.
Oh, sorry.
Banana,
Keep going.
Banana Man's like, keep doing.
Maybe you just suck at it.
Hey,
Yeah, maybe he does.
you look, the guys that are really good at roulette know what numbers are coming up next. So, like, I don't know them, so I'm not good at roulette. I don't know which team's going to win, So, hey, it is what it is. But if people find ways like stocks, real estate, finding ways to live under their means, do Dave Ramsey's kind of thing, but like not because it's not perfect. What Dave Ramsey says is fundamentally correct.
I like where he comes from with it.
It's like
I enjoy Dave
you're
Ramsey.
coming from a good place.
Yeah.
But I mean, people need to be nuanced in how their lives and like their demands and other things and personal responsibility.
Yeah.
They need to be able to say, "Hey, I can't afford this." Like, a new rule I've really liked, and I would love to hear what you think about this is: if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it.
Oh man, if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it. Let me ask before I answer that. Buy it? Like don't like buy it outright or financing? Because financing you talking about outright?
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about like if you can't afford to buy it twice. So if it's like if it's something small like obviously like houses and cars, a lot of people can't buy those twice.
Right.
But if you can afford double the monthly payment,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe it's in your budget.
Okay, I see. What
Yeah.
you're saying.
So
I see
it's
what
like,
you're saying.
can
I
you?
like that.
Yeah. Like I feel like it just gives a little bit of a baseline, and then you
It's a
can.
fair rule of thumb.
Yeah. It's
Keeps your
something
expenses
new.
down.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I can afford this, and if it doubles down, I still can afford it.
As long as your life it does not depend on it.
Yes.
Isn't that
Insulin.
close to the current rule right now, though? Aren't you supposed to have about 40%?
Some people say 40. Yeah. You mean like because
It's
there's
like if your mortgage was, I'm going to use an old number, but like if it was 700, really you're supposed to have about 1200 to 1300 available at any time. You're supposed to have an extra 40% on top of that.
Oh, I get what you're saying. You're talking about DTI.
okay. Yeah.
Yes. I would say okay.
Could you just for people who may not know what DTI stands for, debt to income ratio?
Yeah, debt to income ratio. So the debt to income ratio, there's really two parts of it. The front part is the housing ratio. So it's basically what the housing would be compared to, or I guess the debts that you have without your housing compared to. Why am I blanking? This is so terrible. Here I am. Anyways, sorry.
Well, it's like if you have a car payment, a second mortgage, or if you have like other debts and stuff,
Yeah,
but your
everything
income.
except for the house.
Yeah.
And then you wage that against your income versus all of that plus the housing against your income.
Yeah.
And yes, so the numbers somehow they differ between like 50 and 55%. But yeah, that's what it ends up coming out to. So if you end up getting around 40%, then you're good there, and you'll be able to get enough house to be able to bump it up to that 50 to 55%. You don't have to go up that high when you're getting a house, but
Yeah.
you can.
But I
That's
mean,
where your process would be similar to that concept. It's just if you can afford double it. So
yeah, because I mean, and that's the other thing too. It's like you just gotta also take a good hard look. I think one of the most crucial things before any like big financial decision is like take like 3 months of like expenses and really like peel through them. No pun intended. Peel through with the banana. Da-da. But like just really got to dig deep into like what's going on and stuff like that. Because I mean, I don't know. It's like I look at my spending and stuff. My biggest expenditures right now are food and gas because I'm always traveling. I'm always running around. It's like I'm always trying to be places and be around people. And it is one of those things. Like you just got to take a hard look at what you're doing and actually be like, I can't it's just Taco Bell. It's like, yeah, but it's like, it's $15.
Yeah.
I want to get the grilled cheese steak burrito and a beefy 5-layer. And it's like, okay. But then, or you get the stuff at home. And I don't want to eat the stuff at home. Like, So I heard someone say it perfectly. There was a comedian that's like, man, I don't know what it is, but whenever I go to the grocery store, I become allergic to everything in the fridge. Like, yeah, I have all the food I was supposed to cook this week. I'm like, but yeah, some Zaxby's be pretty good though. Like, one thing I've been trying to do to save money is I will just like food prep, like, rice cooker, like just rice, grilled chicken or baked chicken, just like doing food prep. It's like, but then it's like you just gotta stick to it, you know.
Yeah, you do.
And the one thing I can't do anymore is I used to be like, ooh, well, I'll just make my own cheesy bean and rice burritos because I'll take a chili, like at home, I'll make some chili, take some of the rice, put it in the chili, put some cheese on it, and then I'll throw that in a tortilla. And my stomach is like, why? I wake up the next morning, drink that coffee, and it is just like I have lit the fuse. It's horrible, man. And I love it so much. I love it, but I'm like, I know this is gonna hurt tomorrow.
Oh my god.
I mean, like, is there any foods like with that for you that you just know it's like I mean, like a mutual friend of ours, Freddie. He is a lovable person, but he is lactose and he does not care.
Mm.
He's like, this, Jared. We got about 30 minutes before I absolutely obliterate your passenger seat.
Yeah, it took me a while to realize it though.
What was it?
It was this vanilla bean drink at Starbucks. I was like, oh, this is so good.
And then it just
This is so good. And then I would go to the bathroom like an hour, 2 later. But it took me 8 times.
to realize that
It took me sitting on the toilet, having violent diarrhea while drinking it to be like, hey, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
This is no. Oh gosh. Oh, this isn't it. This is the problem. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, the canned, and I think it's because it's canned chili. So like anything canned, it's the most like that meat's been in there for months. Like it's canned meat and beans and chili.
aged, Jerry.
That's a very nice way to put it.
It is.
It's
It's a
like-
nice way to put it.
but yeah, I mean, it's super processed is another way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like I take my licks. You know, I understand it. It's like, hey man, you're gonna do this and you're gonna pay for it. I hope you're ready to pay up when the time comes. The other thing that kind of like going off of what you were saying is it took me a handful of times to really dial in. That's what it was. Is the Chipotle spicy salsa.
Really.
I love it.
Mm.
I think it's delicious.
Yeah.
I get it on every like burrito I can, but I've come to terms with like an hour, 2 hours later, it's going to be coming out hot lava.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I thought it was like something else, like back when I was drinking and stuff, and like I was like, oh, it's just because I drank a bunch last night, so my stomach is like, no, you don't always have that happen. But there's one X factor here,
There you go.
and it ain't the drinking.
Exactly.
So yeah, but food aside, I think it's very important to try to find ways like to make stuff at home. Like, are you familiar with Jordan the Stallion?
Jordan. Yes.
I love
president of the Fast
the
Food
Food Secrets Club.
Fan Club.
Oh my god! Like, he'll just like. I love those pages. Like, Seabass, you familiar with this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the fast food secrets.
Yeah. Like, dude, when he goes through there and he just like has a bad experience at a place, and then like, oh, it's not like you're that guy that knows all this like recipes,
Mhm.
and he's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
be
it's a
shamed,
good thing I'm not that guy.
and then whips out the book and it's like 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, 2. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, yes,
He
write it
kills
down,
it.
write it down, write it
He
down.
kills it.
I mean, dude, like if you can make it at home and you can make it in like bulk, it's like, bro,
Mhm.
like he's going to be the thing that takes down the system for good.
Yeah.
It's like people are going to figure out I can just make this at home.
Mhm.
But the other caveat is just the willpower to do so.
There you go.
Because I mean, it's nice to have someone go, here you go, here's your meal.
Mhm.
It's like, eh.
Yeah, we're still moving closer towards Wall-E and those people in chairs. Like we're
yeah.
still on that track.
The Apple Pro or the Apple like
Yeah.
Air, what was it called? The Apple.
Apple Pod Vision Pro Super.
yeah,
Mobile
Apple
15
Vision or
Hyper
whatever.
Force Go.
Oh my god, dude! When I saw that come out, I was like, we're done. We're done for.
Mm.
Like just seeing people in the park, just
Wait, what is that?
it's the
I saw some clip of that, but I have no clue what
it's
that
not
does.
it's not virtual reality. It's augmented reality.
Mhm.
So like if you're sitting in that chair, instead of having computer screens, you could pull up Windows or OBS and stuff on your like in your visual space, and it reads like where your hands are, and it like like you can literally type on a virtual keyboard, and like if you want to have like ESPN over here, and you want to have like the news over here, you want to have your stock trades over here on like a web browsers. Like you want to have like 3 or 4 browsers open, have them on all different pages. You can decide how big the screen is, and it's all like augmented reality. So you'll see people like it's just like I'm working on emails in the park and I'm still watching the Masters tournament over there, and then that's where my Google Finance like stuff is going through. And the only good thing is that the battery pack only lasts 3 hours. I think it has like a 3 hour like battery life.
I've heard that you can't watch porn on it. Is that true?
There's only one way to find out. So guys, if you want to,
Maybe only for the beta phase.
yeah.
Sheesh.
Oh, it's only a matter of time. But I mean, dude, that is.
So people are just gonna jailbreak them.
Oh yeah, I mean, we jailbroke our iPhone. It's like,
That's where people find ways to get around the
They do.
software and just
Yeah.
do whatever they're gonna do anyway.
I remember when
just
I,
want Pokemon Go on it, dude.
that.
I want to be there, look around, and be like,
Oh, dude, that would be kind of cool. You turn the corner and it knows where the buildings are. So you turn a corner and you see the Snorlax just like,
yeah,
like that.
I love that.
I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm just saying it's not all good.
People can get carried away with it.
Yeah.
Way too easily.
I mean, dude, people get carried away with anything.
That's right.
Like if it tickles that itch or that like in their brain that's just like, oh,
Yeah.
makes me happy. Like I mean, I've literally seen one of the other things I saw when I was doom scrolling, which was funny. It's like, hey, before you scroll, do you want to stop scrolling? Here's how you do it. It's just like it's like,
do you have a problem with scrolling?
call
Try this out.
like Seabass many a days will call me because we need to get stuff set up and like scheduled and like, hey man, have you done this thing? And I'm like, oh thank God you called. I was stuck. Like, and it's just like it's literally there's this thing about like if you look up and down with your eyes, it unlocks like some dopamine release in your brain. So it's like if you just like stare at your fingers and go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, it's gonna do the same thing. So you can kind of break the cycle. Versus what I have to do is just hope to God somebody calls or texts me and then okay, and then I just have to like I gotta get out of this. And I follow like 2 or 3 pages. It's like that just they'll put like little videos of like a girl like doing like a little dance and stuff, and then it'll just like, hey bud, hey, go do your thing, go stop. And then those pages will. I'll see stuff that's like, hey guys, if you've enjoyed our pages helping you like break out of like the doom scrolling, make sure you give us a like and a follow. We're definitely getting like we're getting throttled down like so we don't get shown in as many reels because we obviously get you guys to stop being on Instagram for a little while. So I mean, it's just the idea of our attention being monetized. Like, did you like? I mean, was that on your like 2020 bingo card? It's like, oh, it's going to be everything. Attention's going to be like something that people were fighting over for money.
Not this one though. Not 2024 because it's already been there.
Yeah.
I feel like things were going pretty downhill with how successful Vine got. And I was like,
When was Vine was?
Yeah, exactly. When was Vine? I feel like I was still in collage. 20.
Well, I mean,
high
that
school?
stuff was big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When was Vine created? It was in 2013.
There we go. Actually, yeah. Here's the number 2013. The amount of people, almost regardless of age, that have told me how excellent a year 2016 was very eerie.
Oh, I had high hopes for 2020. Like 2016, I was like, we had a bunch of things, and I think it's because like so many Saturdays and stuff like ended, or like so many holidays, like Halloween, 4th of July, a lot of holidays and stuff. They all were towards the end of the week. Like you know how like the days move around every year.
For which year?
Well, I was saying for 2016 and like 2013.
How do you remember that?
Look, long story short, I knew a guy that was autistic, and he could tell you when.
This is not the direction I expected at all.
I can.
Also, yeah, why do you have this information? Out of all information that you're missing, this is what you have?
Because I had many conversations with this fine young man that could tell me what like the Gettysburg Address, that was a Tuesday, like the Super Bowl that year, that was a Wednesday, or like it was like obviously a Sunday for the Super Bowl Sunday, but it's like you could ask whatever date, you could give him a date, and there's like this mathematical equation that you can do that he can just do in his head on the fly, and he can tell you exactly what day of the week that was. And he's like, oh Jared, did you know your birthday, you were actually born on a Monday? Haha, Monday on a Monday. And I was like, thanks bud. It was the most. I was like, I was telling his parents, I was like, can I take him to Vegas? Like, can he count cards? Like, can we can do something with this. Sorry for that left field.
No, dude, that's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. All right.
Well, I feel like that should be like one of your questions. Is like, what's the like? Or didn't you ask that? Like, what's your like what would be your favorite superpower to have if it wasn't like a real superpower?
Mm-hmm.
Like, being able just to like, I mean, God, just be able to know what time and date anything is going to happen. Not like predicting the future, but just like being able to know like, oh, this takes exactly 30 minutes without ever having to do that task.
Mm-hmm.
Like something like that. Like, I would love to have like some weird like superpower like that.
That would be one.
I
That'd be
want the
good.
autism, you know,
Yeah.
but not, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Dude. All right. Speaking of questions,
Yeah.
got a question for you guys. So, what is more important, peace in all of its forms, or control in all of its forms?
I'm gonna say control. That's just my personality. I mean, I'm literally tied. Like, I started using the in-ears so I could control it myself. Like, instead of just going into the man, I had to take it away from Seabass. I wanted control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to be driven around, so yeah, I would say control.
All right.
What about you, Seabass?
What you got, Steve?
Can you expound on it any
No.
more?
No. Just that.
That's not how that works.
That's how super vague it is.
I mean, you could argue control leads to peace. That's why I'm kind of wondering.
That's the fun part. Yeah, no.
Hmm.
Go into that, man.
So control isn't. You can't have both.
Well, no, because ultimately I'm wanting peace.
Well,
But
yeah.
the method to attain that could be control.
Mm-hmm.
but if you're in control, then it's like you have to take control, which means it takes a form of responsibility, which may disturb your peace because you're responsible for it.
Are you in control of everything that happens in your life?
No, but that's what I'm saying. If you could take in all
So
forms,
the things that are out of your control,
I mean,
wouldn't you rather still find some sort of easement in them?
I guess that depends on the depth of the question. If you're saying all forms of
That's
control,
That's why I asked for the expounding.
well, but it's just like so your answer is control because you think it leads to the other. But I'm saying if you have all control, then are you really happy? Because then it's like,
My brain looks as control as action and peace as a state of mind or a feeling. So I would rather take the feeling.
okay,
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like it.
He's got a huge grin, so I'm wondering what Banana Man's gonna be saying about this.
Oh man, no, I mean you guys are super right about it. Like I love where Jared's coming from as far as control. Seabass, you're right on with the piece. I know that for me personally, I'd rather choose control, and the reason why is that on the smallest level, the smallest thing that I have the most control over is my reaction to things. That's like, okay, well, if I can control that, then I have peace, because I'm not gonna get rattled. So it's like, okay, well, if peace is my goal, but control's the vehicle to how I get there. Now, outside of me, as soon as we throw in somebody else, it gets more complicated all the way around. Peace, control-wise, okay, cool. So, too many variables. And then I think absolute. So, absolute peace versus absolute control, much to what Seabass has said, what's really the difference? It's really only perspective, because if you have absolute control, then, no, you can get peace. I'm going to take over the world, and that's when we're going to get peace. Because I'm going to control everything.
And there's no variance. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was curious.
No, I mean it's fair. Like I feel like it's like the idea of total control. It's like oh, so you like I mean it depends how deep you want to go into it. It's like, can I control the asteroids like that so that it never hits the Earth? Can I control like the weather? It's like, I mean, if you can do that, because I mean that's the thing. It's like how deep you go into it. Because peace, I do believe
You can go the whole way, man.
I mean,
what would you do with that?
but I mean, that's the only thing. It's just like I feel like there is as much as I'd like to have control, it's like the fact that I don't in like real world like terms, I can find peace was like, hey man, like this was out of your control, so it went wrong. I mean, if nothing ever goes wrong, then it's like, okay, great, everything's perfect. This is now my normal. So there's no ups and downs, no like variance and stuff. As much as I love to be in control and stuff, when things go out of control, but somehow everyone pulls together to make it happen. I mean, that's a good feeling, but it's the real world versus the hypotheticals.
I like that.
So because I find peace in things working out without me doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I get what you're saying, and I think you kind of touched on a really interesting point of wanting control, but not necessarily the responsibility of something. And it's just like, oh my gosh, to be able to control something or to not have control in it, but the responsibility of it all isn't necessarily on you. So to me, it's a lot easier to say, oh man, like all I can control is what I can control, and everything else is really just for the birds. Like for me to exist, awesome, great. I don't feel like I'm in control of me existing. I can control of like when I end it, if I was to end it like that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I totally get that, and I like.
Well, I
how you
mean,
touched on that.
but it just kind of meld the real world with the hypothetical, because it's like I can control everything. Well, so you can control other people's reactions? Like, it's like, well, in that case, yeah. But again, just to play, the other side of it, it's like, are you going to be really at peace if you just like that becomes your perfection is now your normal? So won't that get boring? And it's like, well, it's perfect. So can it? I don't know.
That's the thing. Can it?
Can it?
That's a great question.
Can perfection be boring?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, maybe Brainiac was right.
Absolutely. Wait, no, yeah, absolutely. Perfection is boring.
A straight line that's perfectly straight and goes on forever. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. We know what we're getting. But, I feel like that's the human element, and that's the only thing that keeps me thinking that AI is not going to completely take over. It's like people are going to want a little imperfections, and AI is going to do too much to make it perfect. It's going to keep the music still. It's like, oh, he kind of played a sour note there, but it was cool.
In my opinion, AI is never going to be able to produce anything that won't fall outside of Uncanny Valley.
Until it does.
Until it would need to understand emotions.
I mean, emotions are just chemical reactions, aren't they? So it's like, what?
Not entirely.
I mean,
whoa, let's talk about this.
I mean, on a biological basis, an emotion is a hormone chemical reaction that synapses in your brain's reacting to a certain way. So if you could get a supercomputer big enough to read it, you could then quantize emotional reactions and theories.
I need a place.
Hey.
You need a what?
I need another
I
window
like that.
to pull some info.
Hey, listen, I like that. Emotions, physiological responses. I'm with you.
I mean, but it's like that's just emotions.
Yeah, feelings are different.
Yeah, feelings are different.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can have a feeling on something like that because it's just like, because I do believe in a soul.
Hold on. Feelings are just emotions that you can't describe, so they're not that different.
I mean,
I think feelings are what you think your emotions are.
Yeah.
So
it's
feelings just
emotions
describe
you
an
can't
emotion.
describe.
No, you can describe it. That's the point of a feeling.
Yeah, you can.
A feeling is your description
Yeah.
of your emotions. So your feelings are what you think of the physiological responses that are happening inside you.
I feel like we talked about this once before, and there was a way we put it that was so spot on. It's like your feelings are just the expression of your emotions.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was
Not
something.
necessarily the expression, but yeah, the thought behind it.
Yeah. Because I mean, but like on like a biological sense is like if you're hungry, you get a hormone that says that hey, you're hungry, and then that your body goes into hey, we're not eating, and all these things to go into survival mode so you can become more aggressive, so you can hunt, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're sad, like that's a whole other like imbalance. Or if you're like angry, it's probably because you're sad and hungry. And then if or if you're just horny because you haven't like had your body's like hey, we need to further the population, we need to continue the species. Like all those things play on you. And I'm not saying that AI is close to getting that, but like understanding an individual sense, how there's so many data points that you could actually like quantize it. You need like a super big computer. So yes.
Oh, I thought you had some Seabass.
I mean, I don't know. It's too deep. I do not have enough research.
It's okay.
On something like this because where I'm wanting to go is talking about your ego, your intellect, your ego, and your super ego, and how those actually influence emotions.
Or like the fact that it's like.
But
Yeah. Well, do you mean like in the ego sense of like you will sacrifice something that's, and if you analyze it, it's not worth sacrificing this for the reward, but your ego won't let you, so you'd go ahead and you'd make the move on the chessboard.
That's essentially where I don't fully accept that emotions are simple chemical releases because of how the individual is and how people's ego and intellect can influence those decisions no matter how many chemicals you release.
Well, yeah, and I think that's like what we're saying with the data points. It's like we're very far away from it, but I feel like as things exponentially increase in like just supercomputers in general, are so close to being online and actually like accessible to like governments and nefarious like organizations
See, but how does an AI learn individuality?
by observing the data that's online. I mean, we have,
But if they're all using the same core, how do they do it?
I mean, like same cores in like the computer core
Because they're all
process.
just running numbers.
Well, I mean, like,
Because that's where technically for an AI to get to the point that you're talking about, they need to be faulty.
well, no, it's not that they need to be faulty. It's
No,
that,
they'll need to be
no,
faulty because they need to
hold
be
on,
different.
hold on.
Otherwise, they're all
Hol-
the same. They're
okay.
uniform.
I was almost done with my
Okay,
my point.
sorry.
It's like before you jumped in there, but what I'm saying is like the imperfection is going to be calculated. Like that's what it's like the same thing that makes those like the Gemini and all the other AIs that make the art, like the videos. You just put in rainy day on a train, like through a town, and it just makes that, and then you can like add little points of like, hey, make the town more German, make it more, you know, like it's in Japan, and it takes those and mushes it into there, and it's not perfect. That's the problem. But then once it does get to that level where it's like perfect, which is an obtainable goal in a lot of human sense, because everything needs to have its own like caveats. Then it's going to start looking at your individuals like, oh, a person from the Midwest of you know central United States that grew up in the this kind of family with this kind of many siblings with this kind of like all these things that are just those mega data points that span throughout their entire life. It will then be able to collapse it down into a quantifiable base of probability, saying that they will most likely respond to this. I mean, that's what focus groups are. Like, you know, when people do crowdsourcing focus groups, they
But
just
you're just talking about raw data.
yeah,
When
and
you're talking about an AI recreating a human experience,
Yeah.
it needs to have emotion.
well, that's what I'm saying. It takes the raw data of how they respond and what's available to them. I mean, there's videos that they can literally watch in like milliseconds that are, you know, able to be downloaded. It's like facial expressions, like things like that that are already underway.
I think you guys are talking about like two slightly different things though.
Yes.
Because as far as like him talking about like individuality, he's right in that something would need to be faulty. Because otherwise, they're just taking all the data points of people who existed, and you're like, no, take all those data points to be able to understand what this person's talking about. So I mean, you guys are talking
Yeah.
about like things that are like adjacent but not the same thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of our back and forth kind of go that way.
Yeah. But have you seen Astro on Netflix? Is it Astro?
I
Something like
have
that?
not yet,
Bro,
but I
it's-
heard great things
Wait,
about it.
Astro Boy or just totally
I
different?
think it's just
No, it's I don't even know if it's called Astro.
It's not. But you
It's-
know exactly what I'm
it's
talking about.
It's a recreation, essentially, of Astro Boy
It's fire.
to where there's
fire.
androids and
Yeah.
other things going
Bro,
on.
what you just described, it's in
Yeah.
there. It's in there. It's good.
Because when you say Astro, I think of Astro Boy, and
As you should.
I didn't really like it.
No. It's on
It-
Netflix. This
it's
is a new
it's
thing.
an older time.
Okay,
Yeah,
It's
this is a different thing.
Is it called Pluto?
Pluto.
Pluto.
Thank you.
Pluto TV?
Pluto.
No.
Oh.
It's a show. It's a new
It's on
anime
Netflix.
show
Okay.
on Netflix.
Check
Okay,
it out.
okay.
Each episode's like 45 to 55 minutes long though.
Oh.
So listen.
Look, I'm not watching any new anime until he watches the second season of Invincible, because he's got me to
He wants
watch.
me to watch that garbage.
You're gonna love it. You already watched season 1, and you're like, I'm just mad that it doesn't come out sooner. It's like, me too.
No, I'm mad that the animation's crap. It has Amazon. They have infinite money, and the animation is garbage for
Ooh,
it.
run
So
it.
you think garbage or anime is just like if it doesn't have good animation, the
Look,
storyline? Maybe
It
they
has-
don't.
It has the same animation that Pokemon has.
Oh my god, you just
That's fair.
don't like it because you don't like
He
it.
just said it's fair.
That's fair. It reminds me of almost like a little bit lower than Young Justice or like Teen Titans.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, how do you
That's
look
fair.
at that after? Well, you haven't watched the new Bleach, so you wouldn't know about that.
Oh,
But
I
the new
just finished that.
JJK and other things, there's no way you can be like, this is good.
Well, a studio that does exactly that versus, you know, I think also you're just more wrapped up in the fact that the actors want money and that's what's costing them animation.
I mean, it shouldn't be delayed this long. It's anime.
I mean-
the thing is, every other anime comes out on the year, on time. They're seasonal.
It's crazy.
I mean,
so why is this
I don't know.
taking
Maybe put a
almost
team
3
together.
years now to come out?
Put a team together and make an animation studio and try to get funding and figure out the process. Don't just complain about it. I'm just saying.
Do something.
Yeah, just compete with Amazon directly. Just take the show.
I
from
mean,
them.
it might be difficult. Maybe they're having hard internal struggles that we don't comprehend.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, give them a little bit of grace. You know, it's like, man, give me stuff. It's like they have other things, you know, outside of just making the thing they have to compete with and like find.
I mean, but I told you they only use 10% of the budget that they use.
You don't know that. You're pulling that out your ass.
I mean, yeah, I guess I didn't look it up for myself, but the person that brought it up, I'm gonna assume looked it up and was somewhat reliable on it. I'm assuming they're not just blowing out their butt for it.
I mean, what I'm saying is that they're doing the best that they can with, because they obviously want to make it happen.
Do you really believe that? Do you believe they're doing the best that they can?
Look, you can sit on the poo-poo on
Does it have a
everything
soul?
side because it's like but it's like I'm just saying, you want me to watch more anime? It's like you won't even watch the one I've recommended to you, and you want me to, Jared, you need to watch this. You need to watch this. It's like, bro, I'm trying to do stuff, and One Piece is taking up all my time until the next season of Demon Slayer or JJK comes back
I'm
out.
not putting together any Legos.
I'm not putting together Legos until you do the one thing I've asked you to do because you watch everything else. And it's like, I'm saying the storyline, the concept is great. Like, it's literally, what if superheroes were in real life and what would their internal struggles be and how would they react? It's like,
Are you talking about the boys now?
No, that was also a key point of The Boys. Did you see The Boys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that aspect of it too. But you just want to poo-poo things because you want to poo-poo things, and that's fine. You can be that way. Just say it.
I actually really like the story. I don't like
So you
the
just
animation.
so you're saying that animation oversees or supersedes storyline and like
For-
character development?
For him.
I mean, they're using this as the medium. It's already got a comic book. If you want to just fall in love with the story, you can go read the comic book.
So
if you're gonna animate it, make it look good.
So what if they?
already said he's not going to read.
Yeah,
He said that like 20 minutes ago.
that's true.
Not gonna do
I don't even picture books. I'm like, too many words. Like,
That's where, yeah, I can't imagine handing you a comic book. That's got more words than you'd imagine.
it's like, I gotta read. Oh, he's explaining his jutsu. Nah. It's like just do it and have someone like overdub it. Come on. But yeah, no, I get you, but it's like I'm just saying there is a breaking point, and maybe it's just an individual thing on you, but it's like I feel like there are some things where it's like storyline and characters and just the overall like concept can like there's I'm not disagreeing that the animation's not top tier. It's like not JJK and Shibuya like that kind of fight, or it's not the Zoro versus King fight like level of animation. Like Quisp is great, and I feel you. But I especially with Invincible, I'm just like, I love it. I think it's great. I love everything about it. I can also understand your caveat that it is maybe needs a little more on the animation budget. But also, I feel for them, and I'm like willing to give them a break because I know they're dealing with tons of people at Amazon, actors, top tier like voice actors, and a bunch of other like people that want more money because it's doing well. And it's just like now everyone's grabbing money and it's costing it. It's like a football team that wants a great player, but the current players are like, but if you're going to pay him more, we want more. And then it's like, well, now we have a budget for nothing.
Hey, have you ever seen the opposite of that, of what you just described? Like, garbage story, top tier animation?
Yeah. South Park.
South Park?
South
What?
Demon Slayer.
Whoa.
South
Whoa.
South Park has great storytelling, and it's obviously like
I
not.
feel like it has its own charm.
Yeah,
South
that's
Park
what I'm
has,
saying.
Like gotten better. No, I'm talking about like God of High School.
Okay.
God of High School.
Never.
Top tier animation. Trash story.
It's
for
kind of
for the
ridiculous.
anime.
Well,
Like the pacing.
Just
is-
for people like me that don't know what's the gist of high.
I don't know. I have seen it. I don't know. Cause guess what? The name of the anime is God of High School, and they have people fighting in a tournament, and I promise you they're not in high school.
Yeah.
Like, there's things you're like, oh, no, dude, there's no way. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm 14 years old. Like, okay, you let that pass sometimes. But no. There's full adults happening. There's, like, a war that's going on. And then this dude's somehow like a god. And you're like, dude,
How are you still a senior?
who are you? And that's not even the main character I'm talking about.
I heard
That-
the whole story is just a tournament arc, basically.
It is.
That's the whole story.
That's what I want it to be. But then it's not. And then you're like,
It
wait,
has nothing to do with high school. Like, what?
the original 3 people are probably in high school. But then from there, it's about some sort of ancient war.
That involves the high school,
It doesn't.
like Hogwarts.
It doesn't. And it's
Like
not even like a singular high school. You don't even know if you're watching the championship round or if this is the preliminary tournaments. I went back and watched episode 1.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're fighting for that competition yet. Are these just the qualifiers? They might be. I don't know. Is what I'm trying to tell you. But what I do know is
Yeah.
they throw hands.
They throw
They
hands.
throw hands like crazy.
It's great.
and it's top tier animation.
I
I've
mean,
seen clips of it. It's
yeah.
got some of the best choreographed fights and
Yes.
whatnot that you will see anime.
Yes.
well, I mean,
And it was from a while ago too, so no one would have expected it when it came out because it's almost 10 years old now. I think.
look, I can feel where you guys are coming from, but I'm telling you, Seabass, I will die on this hill. Invincible's a good show.
You look all right. My only wonder of that is that you love Superman. So is this just a bias of an off-brand Superman?
They have a Batman character in there too. He just got murked because that's what would happen to Batman in real life. I touched a button.
I'm done.
All right, cool. So I got you with this. You ready for this story? I got a story for you guys.
Tell us.
So, I cosplayed one day. Went to an event.
Mm-hmm.
Got in early.
Care to share the event?
Yeah, it was trap sushi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So very, very thankful that I had a friend. My friend's like, hey, I can get you in for free. And I was like, thank you, because I'm not going to stay the whole time. So anyways, I get in there, and he has a friend that walks up. His friend walks up. Another friend of that girl walks up. These two women, right? And he obviously knows this one. Doesn't really know that one that well. She gives him a hug. It's cool. It's whatever. I notice. Oh, look at that. A tall person. That's nice. It's a tall girl. Look at that. Maybe we can bond over stuff. I don't know.
Let's bond and make it NFL, baby.
There's like 6 more people here, and this is the person that's basically standing next closest to me. Let's start talking. So we start talking, and this is pretty much the only person I talk to for the next hour and a half. And I'm like, cool. You ever meet somebody interesting, and you're like, let's see where this goes?
Mm-hmm.
And like, interesting is in like, how'd you get there with that thought? Let me give you an example. So I asked her, if you could take one thing out of existence, what would it be?
Ooh, one of your classic questions.
She said Israel.
Kind of a hot button topic these days.
Yeah. She said Israel. And so, and that was the opening question. That was the opening question that outside of, hey, what's your name? I was like, if you could take one thing, Israel. And I was like, oh, we're going to have fun tonight.
Because for those who don't know, Banana Man, he does not judge, but he does dig deep.
Yeah, no, totally don't judge, but I love finding out the why. I like talking to interesting people. They might not be good people, but let me rephrase that. People are people.
And people be people.
They are going to have their reasons, and some people's reasonings for their answers are more interesting to me personally than other people. So you can call it being selfish. I like to think about it as, look at that, I just found some treasure. Some people's trash are another people's treasure, and that's kind of what it ends up being for
Well,
me.
some people's like, anime is, garbage, but you like to see why it's garbage, and then you like to see like why it's, the journey of figuring out why they like it is a part of it.
And that's
So why do you like Invincible so much?
I mean, join the journey, motherfucker.
It's not an anime, but anyways.
Also true.
It's a cartoon.
But-
So I'm talking with her, right?
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying myself. By the end of the conversation, I don't know why, but inside of me is like, hey, see if you can get her contact information. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I guess. So I do that, cool, and then we end up hanging out like 4 days later. And I'm like, hey, we set up some coffee thing, not gonna be a big deal, just something chill. Cool. So now I'm 20 minutes late. And I'm going to end up being 30 minutes late to this coffee thing. So in my mind, you know me, I'm a gentle banana, so I'm like, I'm going to have to buy her dinner. Like, that's the only thing. Some sort of food.
Yeah.
I pull up to the coffee spot. Dude, they're closing. They're a legit coffee spot. This isn't a Starbucks that's open till like 8 p.m. They're like...
They wrap up at like 4 o'clock.
They wrap up at 4. They're putting away chairs and whatnot. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So now we're leaving there, and we're just walking around Little 5. And I've always appreciated Little 5 because I never actually had to walk around there. But I'm always like, oh, man, so many interesting looking stores and people. Super excited about this. Probably not the sort of energy usual people have around Little 5. But that's okay. So
You're not the average banana.
that's so true. That's so true. And this wasn't the average person that didn't like Israel. So a little bit of background information. She's a practicing Muslim.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, so I can kind of see where you're coming out with this Israel thing. But her whole aesthetic is punk. And I'm like, all right. And this is what she said out loud. I don't assume anybody has a punk aesthetic. To me, it's just like, okay, this is the second time I've seen you, and you're wearing black. You just, it's 4 days later. It doesn't really matter. Like, none of that stuff really
Yeah,
clicks to me.
yeah.
But I was like, okay, cool. And by tall, today, she was probably as smooth, like 6 feet tall.
Okay.
Today. She was also wearing some like boots, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, that's what's up. About the boots, she's probably a good 5'9", 5'10". So she's up there. You know what I'm saying? Cool stuff. So within about 7 minutes of us walking around, she lets me know that she hates men. Yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, this is awesome. I'm a banana. No, I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking, oh man, this is great because if she hates men, but I'm here,
She must like me.
I guess I'm doing pretty okay.
You've broken through some barriers already.
Breaking through barriers.
Okay, and then what happened?
Well, I got to know her some more, and I really appreciate people who have knowledge on something. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's up. You have an area of expertise. Let's talk more about it. I'm always down to learn something. I can always learn.
You can
something
appreciate
more.
someone's passion for a topic.
Exactly. What I don't like is when people try to manipulate information and spin it to their side of things. So she received a bachelor's degree in sociology from the University of Georgia.
Oh.
And I'm like, cool, like that's fine. A lot of the questions that we were talking about, she would kind of like split the fence on. So no matter what happened, it would be like the feminist answer because she hates men.
Yeah.
Even though again, what are you taking out of existence? Like, what would you take out of existence? Israel? No. Men would somehow be the result of that.
Yeah.
Anyways, then she would split her answer from feminism to liberal feminist ideology to then radical feminist ideology. And when they start kind of like debating with herself, and I'm like, talk about a master debater here. She was going in on herself, bro. Just master debating right in front of me.
Yeah.
And at
That's
one
what you're
point in
into.
time, I like bring up to her, I'm a feminist. And she's like, you can't be a feminist. And I said, oh, really? Why? And after a very long and convoluted answer,
What was the kind of the watered down version? Like,
the watered down version of it is because you're a man, you can't be a feminist. And so I said to her, I thought feminism was just equal rights and treatment of women. And she says, yeah.
exactly. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. So I wasn't gonna argue with her on that because I'm like,
she has her mind made up.
yeah,
It seems like.
you got that going for you.
Well, I mean, and then like, did it kind of like, did you?
It gets worse.
Oh yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
it
let's
gets
keep
worse.
going.
It gets worse. So one of the fun parts of being a gentle banana is, as a gentle banana, you walk on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Whereas the other person's gonna walk on the inside of you. So when we would change streets, I'd be like, hey, scoot in. Hey, I'm gonna be over here. Yada yada this, yada yada that. And then finally, like, I break it down to her. I'm like, just so you know, every time we're walking somewhere, you're gonna be on the inside. Because I'm like, bro, how many times do I have to tell you this? This is the 4th time,
It's like, are you seeing the pattern?
right?
I'm trying to do this.
I know you have ears. I can see them. I can see them. I can see your hair. Muslim, you're not supposed to have it. No, I'm kidding.
Got him.
Kidding. So she says, I understand societal norms between men and women, and I like the way that they function because they have their pros and cons. And
That seems
so
pretty level.
She was cool with that.
Yeah.
And I was like, good, because that's kind of part of the reason why you have to walk on the inside, in my opinion. And I broke it down to her. I was like, because to me, it's easier that I get hit by a car and that you don't.
Because the
than
car,
if you get hit by a car.
if you get hit by the car is getting totaled and you're limping for the next couple weeks. If
There
she
you
gets
go.
hit by the car, she's done.
I gotta that or she's like worse. She could like live. I'm kidding.
Yes.
Jokes. It's just like the responsibility of taking care of somebody else.
Well,
to
and it's
where I'm just
also-
like, dang fam, that's tough.
Yeah, and I
don't
mean
wanna
it's
do that.
and if like it's like I don't know. There's a lot. Yes, but I don't want to derail it. Keep going.
Yeah. And I was like, she's like, that's fair. And I was like, plus if one of us is gonna save the other one, like it's gonna be easier for me to save you. She's like, that's true. And then I was like, and I'm stronger than you. She's like, yep. And I said, and I'm faster than you.
And that's
And she's
when-
like, very true. And so I'm just like, I'm just messing with her. But again, she's like, I'm fine with being treated this sort of way if it's by a person who can back that up. basically she's saying if I was 5'6" and 130 pounds, she's walking wherever she wants to walk. And I'm like, okay, respect, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I can see her thinking. It's like, you can't control me physically,
Like,
so
you physically can't control me or save me, so I might as well walk anywhere I can. And I'm like, dude, I'm with you on that. So I had to ask her a question, As we're getting dinner, I asked her this question. So you want to be married? She's like, yeah, I want to be married. I said, so are you going to hate all men except for your husband? Or are you going to hate all men and your husband, you'll just hate the least? And she's like, the latter. And I'm like, wow, you're going to hate your husband?
So you go to, like,
Yeah.
it's just,
It's weird.
I mean, and it's like, I have a very limited knowledge of like the Muslim culture and religion. I've been in Muslim countries. I've traveled. I've known a lot of Muslims, and I don't see that working out for her.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I see a lot of conflicting like
Yeah.
point of views and opinions and like circumstances.
That's the fun part. Because
Oh, please tell me you did.
it's all this stuff that's coming out of the mouth, but when we go to dinner, I'm like, what do you want to eat? Because now we're getting sushi. And she's like, oh, well, I like this, this, and this. And I was like, all right, well, pick out what you want to eat. And it kept being a question that kept coming back to me, like, we'll get whatever you want. We'll get whatever you want. So I'm like, okay. Again, gentle banana takes it into consideration what she likes.
Fair.
I order the food.
Yeah.
That's fine. Food comes, and it's another test. I'm like, okay, is she going to eat before I eat? Did not eat before I ate. So I was like, okay.
Check.
So I get where you're coming. It's like you have these things that you say. You have these beliefs and these values. But where the intersection is between, I guess, the feminist ideology and your, I guess, like traditional, what needs to be a traditional Muslim woman. Like, okay, so in theory, there should be some weird intersections here, and this is kind of where it's one of them, to where it's like, yo, tell me what we're gonna eat, pick it out, eat first, do all that stuff. Still be a manly man, but I still don't like men.
I mean, like, I can understand, like, hey, if you've had a bad experience or if you had bad examples. Well, and did you dig it any further before we divert?
Slightly.
Okay.
So I know, like, her dad's still in her life and everything. Like, she's got a good relationship with her dad and whatnot. But I did not ask her as to why she doesn't like men so much.
Yeah, I mean, to say just, I hate men.
Yeah, repeatedly, though. Like,
Yeah.
I kid you not, I stopped counting after 17 times.
Jesus Christ.
I stopped counting.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You're so much better than me. I would ask, so what do you think about Muhammad?
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, that's a good one.
Sorry.
No,
sorry,
no.
but not sorry. Go ahead.
That's perfect. So after 6 hours of this, our date's wrapping up. And at first, I didn't think it was a date. But the way that the conversation was going, I was like, this feels more like a date. Like, I didn't establish this as a date. We perfectly just said coffee and we agreed to this.
Yeah.
Now it feels more like a date.
Kept it open-ended.
Right.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm like, and one of the things she mentioned this to me. She's like, I don't like hugging people. The only person I like hugging is my mom. You must think I'm a psychopath. And I was like, no, that is a normal thing. Period. You can only just like hugging your mom and not want to hug anybody else.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you a psychopath
And especially
at all.
And especially some Muslim women, they won't even shake men's hands. I get it. It's like it's a
Exactly.
cultural thing, and I mean, hey, if you could hug your mom, hug your mom.
Exactly.
I get it.
Exactly. And she's already hugged me once. And so I go on and I say, hey, don't feel like you have to hug me. Like, I'm not going to ask for a hug or anything like that. But thank you for sharing this with me. We're not going to hug.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. I need to get more used to it. So I'm like, okay.
I think you just expelled the feminist from her body at times, and she just had to like come to the facts that she was with the manliest banana that she actually like appreciated.
Which is, I'm glad you brought that up, because I asked her, I was like, so then what are you looking for in a husband then? She's just like, intelligence, leader, provider, and I'm like, okay.
All the male traits that you.
I was like, cool.
Okay.
That's what's up. So now we're standing outside of her car, and she says something ridiculous, like, what does she say? She said, "Oh yeah, here's the thing. Here's where I literally lost my cool for a second there. I really had to.
Yeah, oh no!
I lost my cool." She said,
I'm so excited. I'm sorry.
She said something, and I can't remember what it was specifically, but I know that it upset me. She said W.E.B. Du Bois is XYZ. And I almost listen. I want you to know.
W-E.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love the way how you stop there. I want you to know that I would never, ever punch a tree because we're family.
Well,
But I want you to know.
I'm missing. What was the thing
I'm
you?
gonna get you.
Okay, I'm buckled in. I'm buckled.
I got hyped it up to here.
Okay.
So I want you to know I would never punch a tree, but at that point in time, I wanted to shake a tree. All right, that's how I felt. I felt this rage build up inside of me, because how dare you get one of the founding fathers of sociology's name incorrect? His name's Du Bois. W.E.B. Du Bois.
Okay, because I was like, who's the Du Bois?
Exactly.
I was like,
how do you have a degree? How do we have so many like you interject this lens so much?
well, it's like with my buddy Nico. He was talking about Neil Peart, but he said Neil Peart, or like he said it like differently because he's like, oh, it's Neil Peart. Or you remember how he said it?
I don't, but I do remember that he put like a little slang on it.
Yeah,
or something.
and I was just like,
don't know.
I mean, he's nationally known as Neil Peart, but he's like, no, it's like I didn't push him on it, so it's fine, Nico. If you see this, it's you do you, man. But it's like, yeah, Dubois, like I was like, like
That's wrong.
yeah, I was like, is that like some acronym thing from her Twitter that I don't know about? Or it's like I couldn't. So okay, that is.
Yeah, so I had to get on her case. I'm like, he's not French. Like, what are you doing? You brought him up because this man was blacklisted. Absolutely, he's blacklisted. Absolutely, he's not considered one of the founding fathers of sociology. So then how dare you mess up his name? Like, bruh did his studies here in Georgia.
Yeah.
And so at this point in time, which I'm not going to rattle off now to you guys, but I start just unfurling all the Du Bois facts, because not only I have a master's there, to which she didn't know at the time.
Which
because I don't need to flex that sort of thing. Like, that's not something that's not my identity.
It's more, and it's much more impactful if someone discovers that you have it versus you tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and so she discovered, because she realized, like, oh snap,
I've been talking, and he's got a.
He's actually here with it. Oh man, the first school of sociology isn't in Chicago. It's actually here in Atlanta. Oh man, you mean Du Bois is who founded it? Oh man, like, was going in, and then anytime somebody mentions something about Du Bois and anything to where it's not like in like the green light or like positive about him, I found that they like Ezra Parks. No, I'm sorry, not Ezra Parks. Booker T. Washington.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, how do you like Booker T. Washington, man? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he came up with like one thing. He was only supported by like the white man. Freaking Ezra Parks did everything else.
Yeah.
She was like, what? I really like where she was coming from. You know what? I'm gonna cut this story short.
Okay.
I gotta cut this story short, because I'm getting way more into the sociological side of it, and that's the less funny side. That's just the side I get passionate about, because it's like, you have a degree here.
It's like you should have gotten educated, but it's like, yeah, I get it. It's like it's like, hey, like some people get propped up by certain circumstances of their time or the place and stuff. When there's other people, I mean, like, just kind of a broad-faced one is like, Edison versus Tesla. It's like Edison just had the media, the popular side, but
and
like
bash Tesla,
and he bashed Tesla, and like, so that it's. Yeah, no, I get it. It's like when you have stuff like, Booker T. Washington only did like a few things. One thing, correct.
Yeah.
And then you got Du Bois. He's got Du Bois. Sorry.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I've been in my mind. I'm like, don't mess this up.
Like, I mean, and it's there's so many people, especially in that field of study. You can, if you dive deep in, it's like music for me. It's like that's kind of the concept of, hey, somebody wrote this concept, this song, so and like there's. Especially like the amount of stuff that was stolen from like black artists that the white owned record companies like said, hey, that stuff that really slaps, we're gonna have this guy that we have on our record signed for it. And that's why like Motown's and Hit City such a huge like thing, because it's like, hey, we're not gonna like let this get like taken from us anymore, sorry not sorry, like. And then that's why Motown was such a great thing. And I mean, yeah, but I mean, like when you dive deeper into all the stuff Elvis did, stuff that Ray Charles talked about, like he had to go through and everything, and I mean, yeah. So I can see why you get passionate about it. It's like, hey man, like that's not the real story. You've been duped.
Exactly. So to take things a step further, directly in the middle of this conversation, she looks at me and she says, "I have a shame kink." Yeah. And I was like,
What the?
what's that? I don't even know what does that look like? I understand those two words, but how do they interact with each other in the context of what you are talking about, ma'am? To which, yeah. And so she spends 5 minutes in silence just thinking about an example. It took her 5 minutes to come up with an. It took her so long. I asked her what was taking her so long
She was edging.
to tell me what it was, and she said all I can think of are pictures. And I'm like, bro,
That's not haram.
describe the picture. Like, what are you talking? She's like, okay, so anything that could embarrass me would turn me on. And I'm like, okay. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so like if you were wearing like, if your partner made you wear one of those Barbie dresses, like pink short dress,
Because she likes the kind of more punk aesthetic.
yeah,
So
she's full punk, black, everything's covered.
I'm very excited to see. Like I'm trying to picture in my head a punk Muslim. I could see it working though.
Just in all black, but instead of having the hijab wrap around, it's just a scarf.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I can
it's
see
like
that.
pinned to her hair. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So with that, she was like, "Yeah, that would really get me going." And I'm like, "Okay, that's crazy. Not crazy. I don't think that that's crazy, but I'm like,
That's
what was
that's
crazy?
wild.
It's wild that she couldn't come up with an example.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's wild to me.
Like know your
Don't-
kink
Don't tell me you have a kink
and then not be able to explain
and
it.
then not explain it.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes.
Like I mean, dude.
This is stupid.
Like if someone told me like they have a praise king, I'm like, oh, good girl, and it's like, you know, you just. I can understand that.
Exactly.
I mean, but yeah, no, I feel like that's frustrating. Just like but yeah, okay.
Or if somebody says they're addicted to Updog.
So like it smells like Matter Dog in here.
Right?
No, I need you to say it.
You need me to say it. I set you up first, sir.
What's up, dog?
Nothing but dog was up with you.
I just saw that the other day. It's like, hey, does it smell like what's up or what Matter Dog in here? And it's like, excuse me. He's like, no, please say it. Please ask. It's like your bro comes to you asking for help. It's like, it smells like Matter Dog in here. It's like, what's the Matter Dog? Alana. So, dive deeper into this with her, like
Exactly. Oh no, I did. Just a little bit.
because it's
though.
very rare that you get fired up. It's like
Yeah.
you're very even keeled. So it's like I'm
Yeah.
very interested to see how you handled this situation.
Yeah. So because there was such a sharp turn there, now in my mind I'm like, all right, what? And then she hits with another curveball. She's like, by the way, after tonight I can't talk to you until after Ramadan. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah. If we have like a sexual conversation with somebody, we can't text them or talk to them during Ramadan. And I said, okay. You brought this up, right? Like we're
You
here
started
because
this.
of you. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know. And I was like, okay,
So she was prepared to do that.
cool. I guess.
I get, yeah,
I guess. So at this point in time now, I'm like, okay, you know what?
not having a
This
second
is
date.
it. We're gonna. Oh, we were already not gonna have a second date. This is already a one shot. So I'm like, all right, good night. And so we go for a hug, and because she's a taller person, I think in my mind, because she's a taller person, she goes up for the hug.
She tries to go over.
Yeah, she went over the last time, which is fine. Like
Okay.
it's a nice thing, I guess.
I mean, I could see like the half and half, the crisscross. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. No. I don't think I crisscross with ladies. I
Ah,
don't
that's
know.
fair.
The ladies are either up or down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so in my mind, I'm like, let me mess with her. So like, I squat down a little bit and like go in for the hug, and she's like, as we're like right next to each other, she's like, "Why are you crouching?" And I was like, "Oh, my bad. It's just normally when somebody puts their arms up like that, I just like pick them up." And she goes, "Do it."
Do it.
So I like pick her up, and she goes, "Wow." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I'm totally dead weighting right now. Like this is all of my weight." I said, "Is it really?" And I start like swinging her around.
You slung the feminist out of her body, dude.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god.
And I put her down, and hits me with another curveball, and she goes, "You know what? You're weird." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I get that a lot. I totally see that." She's like, "Yeah, I bet you'd make a really great sub." And I was like, no,
No.
thank you.
It's-
Yeah, all right. And she says it again. she's like, no, 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 you make a great sub. Like as if I didn't understand what she said.
It's like, no, I'm
I
fully
was like,
aware of.
no, no, thank you. She's like, listen, the reason why I say this is because usually guys just walk away from me, or like the date would have ended, they would have left, who would have gotten in a fight, but you're still here. And normally the guys who are still here are great subs. And I said,
For those who are wondering what sub is, it means submissive, like the sub of the dom. Just for clarification, if anyone doesn't. But yeah, like I've heard girls say that. It's like, oh, usually they're like the more dominating personalities in men. They make really good subs because it's like a good like change of character. I'm like, nope,
yep, nope.
not for me. Maybe others.
Right.
Not for me.
And so she's trying to rope me into it. And she's like, but just like all these times I kept saying like I hate men and you're still here. And I'm like, yeah, you said you hate men. But you haven't killed anybody.
Yeah, you haven't done anything about it.
You haven't done it. There's not a body in your trunk right now.
Did you check?
No.
Oh.
Actually, she opened up her trunk to put her purse in it, which was responsible, and there was no body.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. And so she's like, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, and then I don't know why she threw this in. But she's like, I'm thinking about decorating my car with like women serial killers, like pictures of their faces. And I responded in the most legitimate, realistic way possible. You can do that, but I don't think people are going to recognize who they are.
Yeah, they're women.
Women serial killers, it's like kind of like WNBA players. Kind of like,
you know how many women I've had to tell the Atlanta Dream is our WNBA team?
All of them, I assume.
They're like, what's the Atlanta Dream? It's like the thing you keep. Never mind.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm just saying, like, I commend you just for like the commitment to like I'm gonna like you stare this down till the end. Like, I mean, that takes patience, like integrity, like a lot of potassium.
You want to know how it ended?
How did it end?
How did it end? It ended when she tried to counterpunch me off of the whole there's no body in your trunk. She's like, well, maybe I'm just saying this stuff to plant the seed to influence you to be a sub, my sub. And so at that point in time, I'm like, oh, look at that, we're switching into the realm of psychology. Let's have fun.
Good thing I have a master's degree in it.
Good thing I don't have a master's degree in that. And so I go, oh, okay, so that means you like me. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, well, let's face it. We're here on this date, so I already know that physically you're attracted to me. You want somebody who's intelligent. I've been able to debate with you all night, and this is no argument. I had the temperament, provide for you, paid for dinner, paid for like whatever. We walked around this entire city of Little Five.
Never got harassed.
Never got harassed for any part of this. And I'm not here trying to control you. She had a full conversation with a random stranger. I was like, cool, I'm going to take 8 steps this way and just kind of
observe.
Observe.
Yeah.
So it's like everything that you mentioned you were looking for in a husband, I have. And on top of that, I can embarrass, I could shame you. Look at that. I just picked you up like you were nothing. And she says, that's fair. And then she got in her car. Not even good night.
Yeah.
She left.
I mean, bro.
It was awesome. It was really fun.
That's like I said, I commend you on the commitment to your true passion, which is the journey. Like you were like, this is going to be a one for the books.
Yeah, this is going to be a great story. That's literally what I was thinking. This is going to be a great story.
Because I mean, like that's one thing that is hard to like get people to understand. It's like taking the time and patience. Like when someone would say like something like the if I could remove one thing from the world, it'd be Israel. It's like, okay, like we can dive into that if you'd like, or you just want to say it just as a bold statement to like just kind of let me know where you stand on a lot of things. But I don't want to make assumptions. Just for the sole fact you say something, trying to get me to make it a broadly painted assumption about your points of view, and I don't want to do that. I want to dive deeper. Like, what made you say that?
Exactly.
I appreciate that, and it's just it takes a lot of patience to like really just go, hey, like how did we get here?
Exactly.
Like what and then I feel like it is so disheartening when you like you talk to people and they just don't have it. They just are saying it because they know it's the popular hot button thing to say. So I mean, like, hey, like that's the banana I know. But goodness gracious, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been so busy these days. It's just anytime I talk to someone out like and about, and they ask what I do for work, and I have to explain the musician, like real estate, like half and half stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, oh, so you travel a lot? I'm like, yeah, but not like that yet. I travel a lot. Like I'll go to Florida. I'll go to North Georgia. I go to weddings. I go to like I'm always out and about. I'm seeing really cool places and doing things that are kind of fun and interesting. But
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, it's on the weekends and it's late at night.
There you go.
Like it's not prime time. Like, and they're like, oh, yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, you can. That's what's my dream.
Yeah, it's like, hey, well, you gotta come over. You gotta hop on the beginning of the ride so you can enjoy the ups and downs, so you can get to the loop de loop and pull, and then your shoes be looking cool.
There you go.
Little SpongeBob tie in there.
Oh my gosh.
But oh my gosh, man, yeah. So, God bless.
Right.
God bless her.
It's a lot of fun though. It's like I like talking to people. I think you like talking to people,
I like to.
but I think that there's limits. I think there's limits to the people that you'll talk to. I feel like you give everybody grace,
Yeah.
and then after a certain point in time, you're like, no,
Exit strategy.
exit, leave.
It's like, oh yeah, that's really cool, man. Well, I gotta go. I gotta go to pick up my shoes from the shop. It's so I gotta get going. Here, but it's or I'll hit them with the man. Yeah, but I think just I'll always just throw. It's like something else is coming up later in the day, and I gotta go prepare for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I didn't say I need to go prepare for this. It's coming up soon, so I gotta get ready. It's like they don't need to know it's coming up later this week, stuff like that. It's like there's things I will say just like, oh yeah, man, that's or like that's crazy.
Wow,
That's crazy. After
That's
3 or
crazy.
4 of those and they're still not picking up, like, and
Wow, you do that to me all the time.
yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Or so yep, you know what I'm saying?
Big old dusty trail.
But dude, but it's like I mean, I don't know. It's hard because like you have to. It's like the emotional battery or the not emotional battery, but the social battery.
Oh, social battery. I thought we were talking about making emotional pancakes. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, but like the social battery, some of it, like it is a thing I've had to accept from other people that hey, the social battery on some people is not as well charged, or maybe it's just a smaller battery than than mine or yours.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I want to go out, let's do stuff. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's like, come on, be fun. It's like, is it? And then I have to kind of debate with why it would be fun. And then sometimes I've been debated out of the fact that I was like, oh no, I just want to go be around people. It's not really fun, but the people are the fun part. And it's a very wide variation of are the people. I have to rely on the people to be the fun part. Well, people sometimes kind of sway, but I don't know, man. It's it's hard out here for a banana and a man,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, even just getting the people to go on the coffee date and stuff. It's like, hey, it's like, oh well, I met you at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's fair, but I was I'm the musician playing at the venue, so it's not like I guess I can't say I'm not a silly kid. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. If you say you're not a serial killer, that usually doesn't bode well.
I mean, but also, how many serial killers in person say they're not serial killers?
In fact, I would wager probably that they joke around saying, "Oh, how do you know I'm a serial?" Like,
Yeah, I'd say they bring it up probably.
But I
They
mean,
don't say
it's
they're
like-
not liars. They're
Yeah.
just serial killers.
But it's like I'm not someone hiding. Like I'm not just a random person that gives you like I had to give them a name to put on the check to pay me to put in a bank account that has to be validated through an ID.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a registered like human being on planet Earth.
yeah,
Like
I'm just walking here.
I didn't just walk in here from Mexico and just like say I'm like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like sorry if that got a little too political for some people, but
Dude, that's totally whatever. I was like, what are you political?
if I walked in from Canada,
Get ID?
which I mean, but it's like you try to get to that like that it's just even the process of like hey like I feel like I have a pretty good icebreaker. You are one of my inspirations for most of the icebreakers besides if I'm out not doing a music thing, I always pull up one of your Banana Man questions.
You just ask people.
Yeah, it's like hey, if you get rid of one thing in the world, what would it be? Or it's like hey, if you had a superpower that wasn't super strength, supervision, like what would it be? If you had like an off-brand superpower, you get some good answers. Some people go, I don't know, but thanks.
Yeah. Nah, dude, that does happen.
And you just gotta go, all right,
All right,
not take it personal.
Your law.
But yeah, I mean, those icebreakers are great, and I cherish them, and I love every one of them that I get like told and like discover from you. But when I'm doing the music thing at a place, It's like easy. It's like, hey, what did you think about the music? You know, how was it sounding? Easy, simple, like kind of just unassuming. Like, oh, maybe you just really wanted to know my opinion. It's like, no, I don't.
Mhm.
I know it's good.
That's what they pay me for.
Like, that's why I got paid to be here, is because I didn't suck.
Mhm.
Like, but I wanted, yeah. You got any songs you like to hear? Like, what are you into? It's like, oh, and then the worst is still, oh, I'm not really. I don't really like. It's either when they say I listen to everything, or it's like I really like. I've only had a few people that say I don't like music. It's like, oh, I'm just not really into music. I just like, yeah, it's whatever. Like,
I
okay,
don't know how that can exist.
they're out there. It's like, oh, I'm just here to hang with my friends. I really don't care about the music. And I'm like,
You don't like hearing birds sing?
It's like,
You don't like hearing waterfalls?
You
You
don't
don't like
You don't like
anything in nature?
you don't like puppies like barking, children laughing. You don't like joy. You don't like happiness.
I mean, music's just sound, so
Yeah.
I mean, do you hate sound?
That's right.
Yeah, but I
Great
mean,
sound.
it's I don't know. It was just funny. I was talking to this one lady came up to me and she's like, "Oh my god, I really love that your take on this song and stuff." And we just started talking, and then she's like, "All right, well, cool. Maybe I'll see you later on the dance floor." And I was like, "Oh, I know that's a sign." And she's like, "She might." And then I just realized like, oh no, she just likes to dance. Like I went out and danced, and then she like went back to her date and was dancing with like 5 or 6 other people, and it's like, oh, which is like, it's okay.
Right.
And then I was like, she said she lived in Colorado, so it probably wouldn't work out anyway.
Wouldn't have worked out. It's okay.
Unless I got some gigs out there,
But
but
you can.
she can. But you know,
Get one of those oxygen.
oh my god, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. That's one of the things I want to go to Colorado just to see if it is that real. Like everyone says it's real, and I should take the majority of like anecdotes, like saying like it's real, Jared. Don't try to don't fuck around, and find out.
No, you totally should.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
tell you something, man. I did that.
Yeah.
Running around out there
yeah,
with my dad.
yeah,
Found out
yeah.
he almost collapsed.
Oh, banana dad,
I was
no.
fine. We rode bikes
Oh no.
most of the way there, downhill. Everything was fine. The way back, when I tell you I had to carry this man's bike,
You're a good son.
listen. Not only am I a good son, I'm a fit son.
Yes, you are.
When you work out, it pays off.
Yeah.
So as long as you're doing some sort of cardio, like you're gonna be fine than the average person.
Yeah, but man, I just, I don't know. It's hard too. Like it's like like personally, like I've been getting shamed, not in a kinky way, but I've been getting shamed into work, like how I've not been working out due to my busy schedule from our Sebastian here,
And you deserve every bit.
and I deserve it, and it's totally not turning me on, and it's. But it's
You probably never even gave me those dips, did you?
I haven't been to the gym. I don't have a dip machine. It's coming. Excuses. That's all those are. But I mean, yeah, dude. There's even earlier today I was talking with some friends, and they were talking. I was like, hey, I'm not a therapist. Oop, little banana spill. I'm not a therapist or anything, but I swear, so many. He dropped the cap. But like so many problems can be solved by working out,
Yes.
Like there's so many things just like if you like I mean Seabass, you want to comment on how it's like been a benefit in your life?
It's not a benefit yet for me.
What? How's it not a You've been doing it for like 3 weeks now. Like consistently.
Yeah.
You have no anecdotal data to talk about its like improvement in your life?
Because I had a lot of problems that I'm still figuring out.
That's okay. That's
Working out's just helping me get there.
Are you benching?
Yes.
What are you doing? Because like your back felt a little bit
stiffer. More
musky. Like there was more back.
more stout.
Right now, I've got his squat rack, so I'm able to do everything essentially: squats,
Nice.
bench. The main thing that I do is I hate that my left arm is behind my right arm, so I'm doing a lot of curls and a lot
For
of
reasons
shoulder
that will
work
not
to
be
try and get
disclosed.
everything to balance out.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
and then I've got a dip, whatever they call.
You made your dip like bar like it's
well,
like
I've
it's
got
that
a
U-shaped kind of thing.
Yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
dip rack that I can do, and I've been using that for not just dips, but also I don't know what it's called when you
What the-
can dangle and do a bunch of ab workouts.
Like
Whatever.
not
Abs.
dead hangs, but like just kind of like
Called
dip
abs.
and then
Yeah, I mean,
call
just
abs.
general ab core workouts as
That's what I
well,
call 'em.
Yeah, I mean, dude.
Abs are my
and then
favorite.
going on walks.
Yeah, no, I think walks. That was one of the things that helped me like not go ballistic in my office career.
Mhm.
Like just the hour I'd eat a sandwich and a soup at like lunch, something I could do real fast. Go for like the rest of the time just walk. It's like all right, we're not gonna worry about stuff. Remember the main goal. Remember the focus. Remember our purpose in life. This is not the end all. Like, we're not just a salesperson. We are a person. Like, you know. But anyone that's depressed, if you can just splash some cold water on your face, get up, go to a gym, go for a walk, like Seabass was saying, it's like no matter how many problems you have, this is just an overall net benefit. Like, you will find and reap the benefits of a physically better, like, baseline. I mean,
And then do it again the next
and
day.
then just keep doing it. Keep
Just
going
keep
back to the
going.
well. But yeah,
And then you get to do weird stuff.
like push your friend around on a sled.
Push your friend around on a sled.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
I love when that memory comes up every.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, however long it was ago.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's like, it's literally it's just a marker. It's like, hey, here's a day you threw up.
Dude, speaking of that day, do you remember?
You're just your regular bitch. You're just more like
I don't know how to make it.
just there's a little knob right here on the side.
Is this knob?
Yeah,
This knob
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's the one.
to make it slide closer like this.
Well, yeah, and keep it like flat on you.
Oh snap! Because it does this.
Oh, okay. Loosen that knob, and then twist the bar. It should tighten it.
I think
Yeah, just keep twisting that. This one right.
Loosened it more.
Yeah, because it screws onto that.
Like this. And then if I go like that. Oh my god!
We did it.
Are you a wizard?
I'm a wizard. But yeah, I mean, there's so there's so much that you get to do. I mean, like even going back and just doing like some power cleans and presses.
Oh my gosh!
I love them.
Power cleans and presses.
I love it. That's one of my favorite like
Crazy.
complex workouts,
Yeah,
like or complex lifts.
Oh, do you remember my friend who I had film us?
Yeah.
Jenny.
Yeah.
She just competed in her first powerlifting competition.
That's amazing.
yeah.
How did she place, or did she did better than she expected?
She got a medal. She completed all of her lifts except for bench.
Well,
Yeah, she did like 2 of them, but not the third one.
yeah,
That's all right.
yeah, it's all right.
But she did good though.
That's good for
I
Jenny.
was proud of her.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. I mean, I've seen some friends that have done I have 2 friends off the top of my head that they decided they were going to do a body competition.
Mhm.
Like, one was a girl, and she was like, you know what, I just want to go all in on something, and she did. She looked great. She I don't remember if she got in the top but she got a ribbon. I don't know if she got the medal, but she did great. It was her first time. She was going against like Cold Stone Killers.
Exactly.
And then another one of my friends, like, he was already very athletically gifted and
Yeah.
genetically just
Yeah.
proportionate. And then he was like, bro, I want to kill someone right now. This cut is killing me. It's
Yeah.
like, yep, that means you're doing it right.
There you go.
Got in there. I think he ended up medaling and stuff. So, but yeah, dude, it's something great. I understand, like, kind of going back and tying it into school. I feel like there has to be some kind of standard. Like, I mean, like, for instance, it really bothers me. Like, there's these 2 kids at church that they look like great kids. They're super fun, but they are giants
Mm-hmm.
and not in the best way.
Oh.
And it's like and the guy leads over to me. He's like, "Those are 5-year-olds." I'm like, how is a 5-year-old in triple digits? And it's like, man, it's just like, it's not like anything bad about them. Like, their life's out of their control, but it's like, maybe if school was like, hey, your kid's failing PE, and this is very crucial because like this is going to hold them back in life. And it's like, they're not bad kids. We don't hate them. We just want them to have the most from life. So I mean, I feel like if physical fitness became a thing that like was just envied and like pursued more, I think mentally a lot of people would be better because they could overcome hard things. They could see progress in a lot of ways. And then that would lead to like across the board just an improvement of overall wellness in life.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, research. There's been so many studies done on just adolescents who, even if it's not an organized sport, it could just be an after-school program.
Yeah.
But
Boys and Girls Club, YMCA.
exactly, better self-esteem, higher self-efficacy.
Better social skills.
Better social skills. That's one of the biggest things. Is better social. So even if you're not going in it to be physically healthy, you want your kid to be more prepared to deal with other people that exist. Because kids aren't people.
Yeah.
They're not. They're
People
humans,
are
they're
just
not
grown up
people.
versions of kids.
There you go.
And some of them don't grow up.
Even then, you got to be socialized to be a person. If you're a kid, kids aren't socialized. That's why we're
Yeah.
still like teaching them. And even that's why, oh, you're 21, like I'm an adult, dude. I don't even know if you're a person yet. Your brain's not done developing.
And what if you're one of those people that was like kind of sheltered? Like, what if you got delayed, not by your own,
Mhm.
like, it's like, what if some people were like, oh no, don't do that, like little Jimmy, little Timmy, or little Betsy, whatever. It's like we'll pay someone to take care of that. You don't like, I mean, the kind of city slicker thing. It's like
Mhm.
it's like, oh no, we're just city folks. We don't know how to do these basic things. It's like you don't know how to like dig a hole. You don't know how to like run a hose. You jump a car, change a tire. Like this is even just man stuff. It's great if you're a man and you can do this, but it's like I feel like everybody should know a baseline of things.
Yeah.
Like bring back the home economics thing. Like, hey, like here's like I feel like as men, and jump in on this, as men, I feel like it's really crucial that we know how to cook.
Yeah, as a banana, as
Plantains
a
are
piece of cooking utensil, you know what I'm saying? As an ingredient, I think it's imperative because whatever deficiency you might have in something, and then by deficiency, it's like you're just not able to do this thing proficiently,
yeah.
or even at I guess at like a neutral level. If somebody can come in there and feel that, that might overinflate their importance to you.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why there's a saying, oh, the
Way to a
the
man's
way to
heart
a man's heart is through his stomach. It's like if he's a better cook than you, then you better have other ways to his heart.
And to quote Emmett Smith, it's like we need women learning recipes. The mothers ain't teaching the girls how to cook, and we're losing recipes.
Is that what?
It was a meme.
He's a gem.
Oh yeah, he was being playful, but like I do think that's a part of it too, and also it just teaches like self resilience. But another thing about it is too, a lot of these like a lot of impoverished communities, whatever demographic you want to call it, there's impoverished communities all over. And when you don't have access, like the food deserts, have you heard of the concept?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, it's like, hey, like why can't these? Like, it's like when foreigners come into the United States, it's like, how are your homeless people fat?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, damn, like how does that work? And it's because they just have horrible nutritional options. Like, I mean, it's also has to tie in with a lot of things that tie into like unfortunate facts of the world. Like, hey, like maybe this is orchestrated, maybe this is like kind of engineered to where we want to keep a population of people as consumers that can't ever break out from the city to like actually consume more, be more self-sufficient. But that's just me and maybe some other theorists and statisticians. But I mean, like a food desert is like something that a concept that I don't feel like we talk about enough, and I feel like it's a problem that could be fixed. I don't know how yet, but I feel like that's something we could work on. Like whether it's having
community gardens is one of them.
well, community gardens is like one of the things, like, or like the rooftop gardens at like public buildings, or like any like government building needs to have like some like whatever amount of government building space is taken up in the city needs to have equal like square footage that's made for like a community garden.
That would be. Listen, that would
makes too much sense.
That might be the thing that breaks the whole system right there.
Because I mean, dude, if you could like,
you mean less people that are sick, less people that are actually depending on capitalism to get by?
Yeah,
that could break the system, Jared.
I mean, dude,
do it.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. But it's like you have trees down like the avenues, like like just for decoration. Like an argument I heard about, or I actually kind of read a story about, was someone asked, why don't we turn those into fruit trees? Like, and the argument that the guy in the article was going on about is like, well, if we did that, then we'd have a lot of rotting fruit falling off, because not everyone would eat the fruit from the trees. Some would just fall off and rot, and then we have to deal with rotting things and then controlling. And I'm like, so, you pay people to like street sweep, don't you?
There
like
you
we pay garbage collectors.
They're already doing landscaping.
It's like why like landscaping? Hey, pick up the fruit that falls off the tree.
Yeah.
Like it's like the argument goes back and forth, and I mean,
dude, that's the amount of immigrant parents that would take that fruit
and make it into
just eat it
so much. I mean, dude, even having chickens, like having chickens and just eggs every day, or even actually I had duck eggs the other day, thanks to my friend Joey and Christine. Like,
how was it?
Delicious. The huge orange yolk, which is a good sign.
Oh, yeah.
Even like the home like made chicken eggs, the organic chickens, which sorry, I'm just saying, like when you see that, like that yolk with that deep orange, or is what I would consider deep orange as a colorblind man, like it looks so much and it tastes so much more like yolky. That makes sense.
Yes.
More egg-like.
Yeah, keep going.
So it's like, and it happens like every day, and like eggs and so many things. A small garden too of just like herbs, potatoes, carrots, like whatever. It's something you have to manage. I get that. But a community garden with somebody that's a government employee that's, hey, there's plenty of people getting botanist degrees. You know, there's people out. It's what bugs the hell out of me is there's problems that we can fix, but the government can't fix them because then it'd take away from government.
There you go.
And that's the moral of the story.
Jared, you speak so well for somebody who's colorblind that I forget you're colorblind sometimes.
Doesn't take away from my IQ. I just can't read the numbers if they're like
Can't
this.
read the numbers.
Look, just because I mix you up with a plantain doesn't mean.
You said deep orange, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what he's talking about. But then you're like, what appears to be, and I look over, it's sea bass, and sea bass is like, I don't know either, bro. Like, I've never had duck eggs, but that's just.
I mean, the thing is, it could equally have just been red.
Exactly.
It could have just been red.
That's
I'm
what
going
got me.
based off of the other people in the room that said, "Oh, that's a deep orange." I'm like, yes, it is. I'm just good at chameleon. It's like, oh yeah, that's.
Yeah, he's a fake until he makes it. For sure.
Exactly, man.
And I just like try to look at it. It's like, all right, if anything else is similar to that color, it's a deep orange.
Like I said, he speaks so well
mean,
for someone who's colorblind.
Before this started, he said, I put this shirt on thinking it was red, and when I got here, I realized it was orange.
Well, when I stood in the light, it looked a little more orange. So I was like, hey, man, it's like I thought it was like I looked at something that was a red, white, and blue, like shirt. There was an American flag in there, and I kind of was like, okay, that looks similar. I was like, that's all I do, and I've been wrong before.
It's okay.
And I know I could be wrong again.
Well, you're good now. You got jeans on. Jeans
I mean,
match everything.
Jeans match everything. I mean, khakis go a lot. Black pants, black shirt, black pants makes you look like a punk rock Muslim. But
I love it.
oh, but yeah, no, I mean, it's always helpful just to have people. It's like I've been in the produce aisle trying to pick out bananas, and I've asked for help. I was like, hey, how green are these compared to these? And they're like, this is the more green one. It's like, all right, so these have a little more time, so I'll take these home because they'll sit there a little bit longer. It's like I've done that where I get a perfectly ripe bunch of bananas, and then 2 days go by and they're all like bushy, and I'm like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nope, got that one wrong.
You think people would treat you different in traffic if you had a bumper sticker that says "I'm colorblind"?
No, they just probably go, "You drive well for a colorblind person." Like, they'd probably just find that there'd just be people finding ways to slur me.
Dude, and then the ultimate slur back though is you just going, and you drive really well for it, and then you just name another race. Just whatever they are, you just name just not the opposite race, whoa, but just like another race.
Oh yeah, it's real easy to say with your color seeing ass, but it's like, I don't know, that could be taken out of context.
I think that bumper sticker would just make me more angry. Because now I know that you actively just can't see red or green, and you're just guessing.
The green one is on the bottom, or on the far right if you're in Florida.
There you go.
That if you're in hurricane country, just remember, it's sideways lights. Far right is green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aren't they like blue out west? Does
I
that
don't
throw you
fucking know.
off?
I was like,
Well, yeah, I guess you would.
yeah, you're asking the wrong person.
person.
It's like past girlfriend's like, what do you think of this dress? I'm like, it's a very pretty color.
You don't look fat in that dress.
I like the way that it matches everything.
It's got lines.
It's a very, or just say it's like, that's a very pretty blue dress. It's like, it's green. I'm like,
So Jared, when they were like, this dress is blue and black or white and gold, did you just see gray or what did you see?
I just saw a dress that was like either kind of a dark-ish blue, like, or it was like, I didn't see the stripes, like the striped one, like, it was blue.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
No black, just blue.
I honestly, and my theory is people would see, like, there was someone released that meme with two images and just like said, hey, like, do you think this is, and then people being people, no, it's like, I saw that dress. It's like, this is, it's blue. It's like, no, I see it as green. It's like, here's the meme. And it's like, here's the, like, I still believe that it was two different pictures that were just photoshopped to just start a war.
I'm so glad that was the thing that happened though.
Or the Yanni Laurel. Like, do you hear Yanni or do you hear Laurel? And it's just this meme of just GIF that like goes. And what I know about like the algorithms now, that's probably like a genius like way to get in the algorithm because people are just watching your video over and 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 over, just to argue with their friends.
There you go.
So yeah, but so fights on like which Pokemon gym you like.
I think so.
Like people would hate on people if you were in the red gym or the blue gym or the yellow. Wasn't it red, blue, and yellow were the 3 gym colors?
That's Pokemon Go. That's something different.
Yeah,
I
but
love
people-
that, though.
people-
no, that was a thing, and then it was mainly it was mainly red and blue. So it was mainly
It was just red and blue.
Mystic.
Bully, and yellow people.
yeah, Mystic and
That's all it
Valor.
was.
No, that's really what it was. They're
'Cause
like
I was yellow team. I
that's
was just getting
right.
bullied.
that's right. No.
You Hufflepuff.
That's what ended up happening. They're like these gyms are a weird color. What's up with it? And it's just like it's just Team Instinct. It's just yellow. But it makes me. I like that though.
Hey,
Pokemon Go reference. Yay!
Yay!
I'm here for it.
Oh my god! But yeah, I mean, but people would be divided on anything. I mean, I've seen people like literally. There's a guy that would go to a sporting event wearing like if it's the Philadelphia Eagles, he'd wear like the Cincinnati or whoever their like big rival is, and he just stand there like your team sucks, and this well you want to fight about it? Yeah, it's like people literally willing to go to jail for a football team that will never know their name.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, dude, like capture something else in your life, like in the sense of like you can do so much more with that same energy.
Yeah.
But it's easy to do this because it doesn't amount to anything. Just like name whatever. Like people are gonna fight about it.
You remember when Bills fans showed up in Buffalo to shovel out snow? They brought their own shovels.
Those are hardy
to
people.
The stadium.
They were like and dude, I think the Buffalo Bills has the record for the most like fan attendance throughout any year.
Good for them.
Like the Buffalo Bills fans. Like there's a guy that I know that works at an office in Georgia, and he buys season tickets to Buffalo Bills every year, and he flies there for every home game. Yeah. And look, I'm not saying he's not doing well for himself. I'm just saying it's like, hey man, that's an expensive habit,
Yeah.
and they lose a lot.
Well,
In comparison,
Yeah.
they haven't. They've had a good couple playoff runs. I'll give them that.
yeah. They
Dude.
made it to the Super Bowl a couple times. Just
4
never-
times at one point.
Just never won, right?
It just sucked that it was back to back to back to back.
Mm.
Ooh, I mean, dude, but Cubs fans, another great example. They waited 102 years until the next
Yeah.
time the Cubs won the World
They're
Series.
like, oh, the curse is over, and I'm like,
Is
I
it?
don't think that was a curse. You guys just didn't get it.
It's like I think you had like front office like management problems and
Yeah,
corrupt people that
let's-
were just taking money under
Yeah.
the rug.
Let's not make this
So-
spiritual.
So what's Atlanta's excuse then?
They're
For
retarded.
football?
For all their teams.
No. The Braves are good.
The Braves are good. They're well managed.
They only just now popped off.
I think
No. There was a string. There's a series where they won like almost 5, not necessarily like back to back to back, but they've won some like several World Series.
yeah,
They had
they've
a
got
good decade-long
Yeah.
dry spell. Though.
yeah, but
Yeah, that's fine.
That's not unusual.
Yeah, but we look at overall numbers.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
They're not
like
bad.
we crushed it the year we won, and then that was the year that Georgia won, Atlanta Braves won. We had 2 championship teams.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia was another example until like Kirby Smart. We had decades of like drought, and then
That's where I'm saying every team lost for a while there.
yeah, I mean
along,
that's
along every sport we lost. It wasn't until I think Atlanta United won one, and then that broke a streak, and then the Braves won the next season, right?
Mm-hmm. Super fair, but I feel like that's everywhere. And
yeah.
the reason why I say it's everywhere is because it's not like every state has all of the teams that Georgia has.
True.
Like we can say like, oh, look at Georgia hockey. It's
Look at
like,
New York.
Where hockey?
Yeah,
Like we had a team and they were just like, send them out.
they're done.
Ship them off.
We don't want them.
They suck.
Go on and get.
Yeah. So I definitely see where you're coming from with that, though, Seabass.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, like, you look at New York as an example as having so many professional teams in so many sports.
Multiple teams. in
Multiple teams.
in
New
the
York
same
Giants.
professional league.
You got
Jets.
Jets. You got the Yankees. You got the Mets. You got the Brooklyn Nets or no, Brooklyn Nets and the who's
Knicks.
Knicks. Yes.
Yeah.
So like, and then
You got all these teams.
I feel like there's even another baseball team I'm forgetting about.
Is the White Sox or Chicago? Where are the
White Sox or Chicago.
All right.
And then
Mm.
help us out, Seabass. Is there any other like New York teams? Like I think there's another basketball team. It's just
Not
I
off
think
the
there's
top of my
two
head,
two
but-
basketball teams.
and
I think
then
it's 2 basketball, 2 football, in either 2 or 3 baseball, but I feel like it's
because they have
baseball.
because you had
Yeah.
the Yankees. No, the New York Giants is the football team. The Knicks, the Nets, the Mets. It's funny, kind of Knicks and Mets, all kind of runs together.
Mm.
And then it's like I don't think they have. I can't think of a soccer team. New York, like
They
having.
probably have
They
one.
probably do.
They have to.
But I mean, the New York Rangers, the New York Islanders hockey.
Okay.
That was the other one.
Good. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
no hockey. I'm a banana.
there's black people in hockey, just not a lot.
I said I'm a banana.
Oh. I'm sorry. Whenever I see
I don't even
this,
know if I should mark that down or not.
no,
That's awesome.
I'm just sorry. The gesture got me.
That's awesome. No, clip that. That's awesome. Clip that.
It's not wrong. I mean,
You're not wrong. But I said banana.
but I did, but yes. But yeah, no. I mean, there's the New York Islanders, the New York Rangers, Pittsburgh's Penguins. I honestly think there might be a third hockey team in New York. But yeah, hockey's a big thing up west. I mean, but New York's got all that, and it's like then you got Alabama. They got the University of Alabama.
Yeah.
It's like there's no need for other stuff.
They don't need anything else.
So I mean, to that point, and like I think Arthur Blank is a little stretched a little thin. He did buy the Atlanta United. He's the main owner for Atlanta United.
Oh, good for him.
Oh yeah, I mean he's done well. But then I think there's a lot of things that go into like a professional team like the Falcons, where they just they pay all this money for Kirk Cousins to come and be the quarterback now.
Right.
And I think he's going to do great. A little injury prone, might be a little bit more of like the veteran, and then they go into the draft pick, getting another quarterback to be his backup.
Yep.
And they've have to kind of well, it's just they already had a backup that played last year. That was they did all right. They almost
We
broke
played
even.
against him.
Huh?
We played against one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I mean, and then it's also like you got these huge personalities. And then it's like, how much can you actually spend? Everyone's got a cap on like their contracts, so that way they try to make it to where if someone just has an insane amount of money, they can just buy all the best players. Well, you have you have a salary cap.
I think
and
that's stupid. Salary caps are stupid.
oh, I agree. And me and was another thing I think is stupid is like me and my dad argued for a good minute about like the college football players getting paid,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I mean,
Oh, this one's fun.
yeah. It's like I'm all for it. I think there needs to be, some oversight because you got 18-year-olds getting millions of dollars. But, I think that's for their benefit, not just like the career.
Yeah.
Like an ACL, MCL tear, they need to have somebody that is given to they need to be encouraged to have a money manager, a liaison, someone to help them when they get this money, pursue this money, invest this money.
Oh, multiple sponsors come on for the same team, but they're not for the team; they're for individual players. Because that's the whole thing. This is for individual players.
Yeah.
We're not talking about sponsoring teams in collegiate systems. We're talking about sponsoring individual players.
Yeah.
They do
So,
both.
which means now you can have conflict of interest with different sponsors, with different players on the same team.
How
how is that a conflict of interest between the players with who they're being sponsored?
Because they can be they can be competing brands.
Yeah, but how does that affect between the players though? Like just because I'm Team Nike and he's Adidas doesn't mean that I'm not going to throw him the ball.
Yeah, is that what you're
doesn't
thinking?
happen.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
I mean, because if
That's not going to be a thing.
if
But if Nike pays more money, you're going to put situations to where Nike players going to receive the ball more.
well,
So maybe Nike is a bad example because usually it's the team. The team is sponsored by Nike.
That's what I'm saying.
So
that
for
we're not-
certain ones, there's going to be guidelines for it, and there's going to be guidelines. It's not going to be set up by the NIL. It's going to be team specific. And if they can't sponsor an individual specifically, they will send money for the team. So much to what you have said earlier, it's like, hey, we're talking about specifics, but there are going to be programs that are big enough to where okay, all the players are going to get paid this much, and then whatever individual things that they're going to do,
yeah, but
they're going to go and do
But
it.
then we're talking about different things because I'm fine with collegiate teams receiving sponsors, but individual players
Mhm.
is gonna make a mess.
But it's both, is what I'm saying. It's like it's already both. Like already teams are getting paid out, and
Mhm.
then because there's just boosters as a whole that are going to pay towards that. But then also individuals can receive sponsorship like that. Like they can receive brand deals like that. But as a whole, so no matter what, everybody's getting paid. There's just some people that are going to get paid more.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, that's kind of just a part of the life. I mean, the quarterback, the linemen are getting some of the booster money because it's like, hey, we want to pay you guys for protecting our
Gold team members are still going to get paid.
they're going to get paid. It's just, yeah, it's like you're not the guy putting butts in the seats. Like, so there's people that are going to reach out more. Now,
On a shorter contract than an NFL player ever would be.
3 years.
NFL.
Well,
the average time in the NFL, 3.5 years.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
usually shorter than that.
Yeah.
Or not me that I say usually.
That's
but
about the exact same.
exactly. So it's I wouldn't say that it's shorter,
Well, that's the thing, and it's also how many colleges versus 32 NFL teams
right?
that have a roster of what, 59 players?
Yeah.
I think it's close to under 60 players that actually dress.
It's
and
like 1% of 1% of
Yeah.
college athletes get to go and play in the NFL. And even then you can get cut at any point in time.
exactly, or an injury, or get traded, or who knows
No,
what.
But that's if you can get cut at any time, why would anyone sponsor you?
No, though that's for the NFL.
That's
Well,
not, yeah. The
not-
colleges,
not for college.
yeah, colleges. You
You got to mess up for them to.
you
do
gotta really mess up.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta like do something really bad. Like,
I don't understand how the college system has more rules and standards
Well,
than
the thing
the
is,
professionals.
the thing is like imagine Seabass. Sorry, imagine Seabass if you are a top quarterback, running back, top athlete, and you go to a big school that's going to kind of help like secure your next level in professionalism. So you have the big contract, but while you're in school at that college, they sell a million jerseys with your name on it, and you get nothing of it. If you sign a jersey and someone pays you to sign that jersey, you get like penalized. You get like run.
You get a free meal.
If you get a free meal, I mean that happened to
That's
Jim
it.
Harbaugh. He paid for someone's burger, and it was like, oh well, you can't pay for like it's like there's
no preferential treatment.
yeah, and
at
so
all.
there's rules like that, and so these colleges. My biggest thing is like you literally take my name, put it on a jersey, you sell a million copies of that $60 jersey that cost you $5 to $10, 15 maybe if it's to make. You guys profit literally 4 times off of my name, and I can't have any of it. And you're paying for my scholarship. Well, you made do the math on a million jerseys that you make $45 on.
But if you aren't in their stadiums, in their system, you don't make any of that money anyway.
And if you're not in that stadium for them, they don't make that money too. The money is just so vast. The gap in the pay between what they're paying for a scholarship versus what they'll make off of the ticket sales, the jerseys, and the other what's the word I'm looking for? The other like apparel for the school gets a boost. When Georgia won the national title, they had a big boost in apparel sales. And if Brock Bowers, oh my God, I'm forgetting the quarterback that year.
No Sean Marino.
No Sean Marino. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He would know about the signing of the jerseys. But Stetson Bennett, like his jersey, like people were wearing the quarterbacks and the star players' jerseys, and before that rule took place, they would get none of it. But so it's like then they're disincentivized to just play well enough to stay on the team and keep a scholarship, and then really ball out in the NFL. Which if they don't ball out in college, they're not going to get the film to get into the NFL. So the pay part, the whole debate of it is that college is already doing well. It's thousands and thousands of like students that are paying for their college is going into the endowments. The endowments have been there for years. If it's an established college, they are making money off of somebody's hard work and stuff, while them going to school is trivial to the amount of money that they're making for that college program. In comparison to something like you were saying, basketball, hockey, golf, any of those teams, if you can get sponsored as a golf player at a college, are you so good that maybe you shouldn't even go to college? So then, the incentive program just shifts. But it's like at the end of the day, these guys are in a system to make money for a school, and they're just, they wanted their cut of it because without the school using them, they wouldn't be that way. So it's like they're just they're double
Without them
dipping.
using the school, they wouldn't be that way either.
And
that's what I'm saying. It's
so they should-
supposed to be a mutual
but-
relationship, and now
but-
it's like one side's trying to grab. money.
But you got to remember they have to go to the school to get into the NFL, or they have to try to walk on with no college
That's
tape.
part of the incentive. The reward part is that's the reward at the end. The incentive is your scholarship is paid for. The reward is that there is the potential for even more later, more.
But
actual
that's
income.
such a small percentage that has that.
And the people that are actually going to get sponsored, those are the small percentage that are going to move on.
Well, I'm just
They're
saying.
not going to sponsor some nobody player on the team. They're only going to
But-
sponsor the people that's the big shot, and that's the same person that's going to make it.
But
or is
you're thinking.
more likely to make it into a pro scene anyway.
But the flaw in your argument
Right.
is that in college, that you're thinking of the biggest schools. There's D3, D2 schools, not
The
just
smaller
D1.
schools aren't going to get as big of
Hold
a deal.
on,
So
pause.
that does,
Let me finish.
okay.
So it's like once you get to those smaller schools that still have like profitability, they're making money off of the college player. If that college player pops off, has like a small town like surge to where hey, like Johnny Manziel went to Texas A&M. Not a small school, but definitely wasn't the highlight of it. He had a pop off, everyone started wearing his jersey, and then he got none of that money. So it's like he was in a place that where he wouldn't even be in like notoriety and
The school didn't move up into a better league.
there's no better league to move up into.
I mean, that's the way you just described it. Sounded like there's better when worse leagues.
Yeah, but I'm saying like there's D1 schools like I think Cincinnati is not a bad school, but it's not like at the talk of the town just because it's D1. But it's the biggest school in that division in that state. Like Cincinnati I'm sorry, there's Ohio, Cincinnati, and then what else? Big college. I'm trying to think of Ohio.
The Miami of Ohio.
Miami of Ohio. So you got those three schools and probably some more, but they have different levels of like.
There's a lot more.
There's a lot more,
Yeah,
and
that
but that's
what you
ties
want,
into it. It's like there's so many D1 schools that no one's ever heard of, and they're D1 just because of their size. So an athlete goes to that school, makes a reputation in that small community, and gets no recognition or extra pay for it, just a scholarship and no guarantee of going to the NFL. So if he can make money off of his name in that community, in that ecosystem, you're saying he shouldn't be allowed to do that. Even though he's got no chance probably of going to the NFL because there's so many higher profile schools that are going to produce this player at the same position. You know what I'm saying? Like
Then why is he? I don't know.
like it's just like you're saying that he shouldn't make money because he's going to school, and the school should just take every bit of money from him that he can.
Just trying to bring into. I'm trying to make sure it's not forgotten all the extra bonuses that person is already receiving.
Like what?
So here's my thing: is like
Facilities, the actual stadium, the platform, the scholarship. There are a bunch of auxiliary benefits that come from getting that full ride.
so my thing is that how are these bonuses? I think these are just like the trade-offs.
Yeah.
I think like that's what you have to do to have a competitive team. Like you have to have a good weight room, or you have to have a weight room. Period. The things that they sign up for, again, before this whole NIL thing, I get where you come from. It's like, dude, you're gonna get to sleep for free. Like we're gonna give you free housing. We're gonna give you a meal plan.
Probably 8 meals a day.
We're gonna give you, depending on where you go.
True.
Much to what you're saying, like depending, because it's money is not the same. Alabama is not the same as the Miami of Ohio. Georgia State, not the same as Alabama.
Yeah.
You know,
You have
again,
sports
food.
doctors on
sports
standby.
doctors.
20
See here, but those aren't even equal. They're not.
They're not.
And so I get what you're saying as far as, hey, you've signed up for this. This is what you're receiving. I just don't think that it is this like bonus thing. I just don't think it's a bonus thing. I guess that's where I'm coming from with it. And what else I want to add to that? To be able to come from a place of, some people come from like nothing, to be able to have this opportunity to play football and maybe go on to the next level. Maybe that's just the education. That's fine. But there's other fees that come up that are outside of the school system. The school does give you some clothes, but they're not going to give you all the clothes.
Right.
The school is going to give you some food, but that doesn't mean that everybody's nutrition plan is what it's supposed to be. I forget which school Jameis Winston went to, but dude got in trouble for stealing lobsters out of a store. Was it lobsters or steak or something like that? But he doesn't.
He went to
essentially,
FSU, yeah.
He did not have the money to go out and do some of these other things. And I agree to the point to where it's like, okay, to what degree is that the school's fault? You know what I mean? It's like, dude, I'm giving you here, you're doing this thing. Why don't you just stay inside of your lane? That's here. At the same way, though, it's like, and this is what you signed up for. You didn't have to sign up for this.
Yeah.
You know, if you wanted somewhere else to eat and sleep for free, sign up for the Army or just go do something else with your life, because tons of other people don't play sports in college.
Yeah.
But the amount of money that college football makes off of the hard work of the people, to which, again, they are facilitating this thing. Here's your nutrition, here's this, here's that. If you are able to go to the 1% of 1% schools that has that A1 thing in there, I just think that when, as a player, you're getting sponsorships because you've been able to earn this, because you are that good, that you should be able to get paid that.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I mean that's
But that's where, okay, the way you described it is something that I very much agree with.
Yeah.
But the way that you usually describe it, Jared, is that you describe it like it's this system that's a catch-all, everyone's gonna win, which is not the way that it is.
yeah, no, it's not.
But that's what.
I'm
But
just
then what's the real profit?
that you should get
If
paid
the
for your
same
name and
person
likeness.
That's most likely gonna make it to the NFL is the one that's getting those sponsors anyway.
Well,
We're just giving them the extra reward a little early, right? That's all
but
we're doing. We're not actually helping the other players that we're assuming need this assistance, right?
no, what it is like if you want to pay someone for their name and likeness, that's what my biggest thing is. If you want to have the offensive,
Some of them don't even build that up.
okay,
The
I'll
school
wait.
builds it up. I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah.
But the thing is, if the school doesn't pay that, or he does, they now that the system has changed, because it's the system has changed as a whole. Any school can now pay players for these. These schools can reach out to alumni that are heads of businesses, own like the Chevy dealerships, the businesses in town that are very profitable. Pay them to be the spokesperson. An example is like you see the Take 5 like oil change place. They had
Oh yeah, what's his face? On
yeah,
there?
the number 5, whoever was number 5 that year, they paid him to be their spokesperson. It's like, hey, Take 5, I'm number 5 from Georgia.
Remember General Booty?
Oh yeah,
Remember General Booty?
No.
but
That's a real name.
that's a
His
real name.
name's General Booty.
But like that
He's
guy,
sponsored by an underwear company.
like that guy that's number 5, I don't know if he made it to the NFL or not, but he got paid for it. Stetson Bennett, like he's not playing in the NFL, but he's still got sponsorships from Canes. He now owns a bunch of them. That was a part of his deal. Like there's things like that where that guy that like Stetson Bennett, for crying out loud, he's not playing professional football like oh he's the top of the top making all this big money. He's literally the only reason he won 2 national titles and he's not playing in the NFL. So even if you do the best, go all the way, you still aren't guaranteed. And I even looked it up. It's 1.6% of college players will become a professional NFL player. So you got that 1.6% of the hundreds of thousands of college players that all can benefit if they have their own, will and or not will, but they have their own like go get it, ness and like play well, go get sponsorships. They can get their own money. If you want to be like the lineman for a school and say, hey guys, why don't we all sign like $100,000 deal to be on? They use us as the starting offensive line to say this law firm will protect you better than we do, or like something like that. People have done that, paid like the whole offensive starting line to be on their billboard. So that's not like like $1 million contract to be on the Chevy dealership, but those players at that small school can benefit from this NIH still, not necessarily in the same level like we were saying before, as like the top players, the quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, the linemen, the defensive guys. I mean, uh, big boy from Georgia that's now on the Eagles.
Yep. I know his name.
Like he got paid a lot to be in ads because he was the big defensive tackle. Didn't get paid as much as like some of the other guys, but now he's in the NFL and he's doing all right. But that's the thing is my big hang up on it is like I think they should get paid. If someone wants to say, hey, while you're playing college, as long as we don't interfere with college, can you come do a photo shoot? Can you come do a quick commercial and we'll pay you for it? Like that shouldn't be a problem, because that's my whole thing is like if someone wants to get paid for their likeness and name, they should be able to, regardless of what the college says. I can understand the side of the argument. It's like, well, if they didn't go to that college, they wouldn't be known. And if they weren't going to that college, and if they weren't going to be known, they wouldn't have gotten to that college anyway. You have to be a 5-star recruit to go to these places. You got to go to football camps. Same way like a lot of kids in baseball, since you're more of a baseball player, like a lot of kids have to do travel ball, do summer camps just to get a shot into some of these things to get them into a position to maybe get a chance in the major leagues.
I mean, that's partly true, but it's also kind of not.
So I mean,
You
we
can just walk onto almost any field and try out. That's actually, I mean, that is true. You can pretty much walk onto any field, even if you've never played, and they have to give you a tryout. Doesn't mean you're gonna make it, but you have to receive a tryout.
yeah, there's tryouts, and it's like, hey, maybe they find a diamond in the rough, sure, but I mean, but if that guy gets a scholarship, like, and then he becomes like this big story. But it's like, oh, this out of nowhere walk on makes this great impactful play or this great impact on the football, baseball team or whatever, and they want to get sponsorships because of that stardom. Like, you're saying they should be denied that?
I think that if people want to be paid for their image and their likeness, they have a certain responsibility to build up that image and their likeness themselves and not through just the platforms of the school.
And that's that part right there. They are building it up themselves. And that's the high school, all the years in high school, the summer camps, the visits, the things they're trying to do to put themselves out
I see what he's getting at
and
with that.
politic themselves into the position to get a scholarship from these schools. So there's a give and take on both sides. Like the school is going to like take them to the next level to where they can get totally to the next level. But I think now with the NIH, like the deals and stuff like that, smaller schools can now have a better opportunity to get better players because
Yeah,
they
they
can
can.
offer something outside of just the school itself.
Yep.
So it's just making a already tilted playing field, no pun intended, to where like smaller schools can get access to better players and hopefully have a shot of rising up through the ranks and becoming a more prolific program.
That's why Papa Saban dipped.
Yeah, he's like,
ain't
I know,
sticking
I
around
know
for
what's
this."
coming. Saban's like,
Mm-mm.
I can't just look at him. He's like, do you want to play at Alabama or not?
Yeah, I can't just be like Bama.
Like, dude, I heard a story just for, and this is
Okay, well, here,
okay.
I'm going to give you what I think might be a good example.
Okay.
If there is a player not as great on the field, he's just average, right in the middle, but he has gone through the extra effort to create his social media platforms where he posts videos where he's cracking jokes or whatever else, and people just like him.
Mm-hmm.
Should he be able to receive the same, if not maybe even more, than the person that's just the good player?
Yeah, because with the way that college football is now, people can find him and offer him that. Originally, beforehand, if he was the most
Okay,
poppin',
then I think we're closer on this than
yeah, that's what I'm trying
than
to say.
anything else.
There
It's-
was a what's his name? I forget like his actual name, but he's like a YouTuber. He is destroying. He built up a very good social media following. Was receiving money for it, and NCAA was like, "Shut down your account. Shut down your account.
Yeah, and
you can't get paid."
there's plenty of businesses that have those models in place too.
And so
I'm
he
not
says-
really for those. But
And so now he said no, forget that. But now thankfully he's in the what is it the UF? What do we have now?
Oh, the UFL.
He's in the UFL kicking.
Mhm.
And I think in his first game he like missed a kick, but it doesn't matter because they won that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm on board for it.
I mean, that's where I'm just saying that maybe in the likeness and getting paid for their image, they should share an extra responsibility to actually promote those things and not just be using the school's platforms in order for that promotion.
That's fair. I like that you have that in there. My only thing is that it's like, hey man, go to school, train for football, and post on social media.
Yeah. I mean,
when
that's
the-
3
the
full-time
culture
jobs.
already is like a watch yourself on social media. Don't put anything stupid out there. Don't mess this up. You've got one shot. Don't mess this up.
yeah.
And so it's kind of like that you gotta now come in. You gotta have more training because there's already training that happens there, depending on how much money the school has,
Yeah.
on what you should and shouldn't post on social media. So now we gotta have more training there for that.
Press training and like
With
actually
that.
social media training and like, hey, like,
Yeah,
so yeah.
because I like what you're
Comes with the
saying.
territory.
It does, but it doesn't in the effect that I don't think that they should have to promote themselves like that personally on their brand. Like if they want to, cool, like do that. Regardless if you promote yourself or not, don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, and just
But
because
if
you
your whole
promote
thing
yourself.
is like, hey, listen, I'm just gonna eat, breathe, sleep football in school. Fine, I'm not really about the social media stuff. You guys, okay, good. I'm blowing up, cool. Rake it in because you are using my likeness, and I'm not able to profit off of it. Not, I'm not able to. I'm not currently profiting off of it,
yeah.
and this isn't already a part of the contract that I've signed. Yeah, bring them the money.
Yeah, and I mean, and you know, it's like if I would love like for the linemen to kind of jump in on that. Like I think linemen are some of the funniest dudes on the football team.
Hands down.
Like the fat boys, they're hilarious. Like
have to.
some of my best friends. So if like they wanted to do a lineman talk or like some kind of podcast thing, and it started popping off, they sold shirts and things like that. You know, they're linemen. They were told to come to this place so they can protect that $1 million quarterback. That you know let's also like not be like surprised to hear that these schools were doing stuff for players under the table.
Yeah.
Like, oh, a donor. It's like, hey man, if you come to the school, you'll get a brand new Ford F-150.
Whatever happened to Reggie Bush? He got his Heisman back, thankfully.
Yeah, thank God. But it's like that's the thing. It's like and the whole argument comes down to like likeness player. Like you want to use his name and image and likeness, you pay him for it.
Mhm.
It's like and if it's because he's at Alabama, UGA, or whatever, some big school, that's great. But the reason that those schools were coming after that player was because of their work done prior to make it to where they could be recruited by these schools. So it's like all the work is linear. It's like they're building up to this point, and these schools are just getting a lot more benefit out of it and more money, which they don't need. Like, like literally, the endowments that like these giant schools have, they could literally pay for everyone to have a scholarship. But hey, they got to save money to do stuff and make moves. I can understand the business
They have to
aspect.
pay their coaching.
They got to pay their coaching staff. They got to pay their legal department to get the players out of like legal troubles.
Got to.
They got there's things like that. But I mean, a small school, even a small D1 school,
Yep.
still has bukus of money to do these things.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, on a
And-
spectrum.
And I,
That just seems like we're arguing to argue at this point. Like, do you agree that players should get paid for their likeness and image? Yes or no?
If they build it up themselves, sure.
So yes. So we both agree.
Yeah.
You just your
hi-
caveat
hi-
is
his building is different from your building. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's all it is.
I mean, this is why I hate talking to him
No,
sometimes.
no, no. Okay, so it's okay.
I'm trying to just give more perspective.
That's okay. That's beautiful. All right. So, did you guys hear? So South Gwinnett High School.
Yes.
Across the street there's an elementary school. It's like Britt Elementary School.
Yeah, sure.
Did you guys hear about the kidnapping there?
I did not.
He woke up.
He did wake up.
That's good. I'm so happy to hear for that.
He woke up.
He woke up. The kid that was napping, he woke up.
He woke up.
But yeah. But you know what? To that point about like, I would love to see like some people pop off in collegiate sports that have no business popping off.
That's what I want.
That would be like a shot putter, just as a thrower, shot putter myself. Oh my God, that'd be so great. Just like, just he goes from college to the Olympics and stuff, and he's like, So that the whole idea of building a name for yourself too is also super difficult, as I'm finding out as a independent artist.
Weird.
Weird.
You didn't take a social media class in high school?
No,
Oh,
they didn't. Social media was in its infancy when we were in high school.
exactly.
It's like, oh my! I met a girl actually when I was doing an audition for a music group, and there was the artist that was putting on the audition had a social media manager. This person has done very well for themselves outside of music, and now they're pursuing music. But this girl, I was talking to her. She was talking about how she. This was the weird part. She said she's been doing social media since she was 10 years old.
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to be on them until you're like 13 or 16 or something. There's
Told you that.
I mean, it's probably like the people that say they've been cooking since they were 2, and it's like you did not have enough motor control to cook anything.
yeah, and I didn't,
Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
more sugar, more sugar.
I never understood those videos of parents like, all right, go ahead, pour it in this cup, and it's like a gallon of milk,
And it's
the
like a
kid's just
2-year-old trying to that has no motor skills.
freaking Parkinsonian.
It's like,
Dude, no, stop. You don't have to. Why is it so full, dude?
oh yeah, or it's like I've seen the video of a toddler with the cup of like dog food. It's like, all right, go put it in the bowl, and the toddler just walks up to the bowl and just drops it and just like.
I guess you're just more okay with cleaning stuff when you're a
I mean, it's like I guess how the kid's supposed to learn. Maybe they're trying to like encourage the learning, but I don't know, man. It's crazy. But this like, I mean, to say that you've been doing social media, like you've been helping people with social media since you're 10, like, and social media, like me and Seabass have gone in like many like skull sessions trying to figure out what to do, like to kind of help, like definitely more clips. But now it's like it's not about the clips; it's about the length of the clips. It's like. Then you jump into how like the what was the thing we were talking about the other day, the tag words or the hash keywords.
Yeah, keywords and hashtags, and then also upload time in order to fit into that sweet spot of the algorithm to where you'll get the highest possible visibility.
Like the upload time is something I've noticed too. Is like if you and this was funny when I was still working a 9 to 5, I would post like at 10:30 before my lunch. Because then when everyone goes on lunch, they'll scroll through their phones and they'll see it. And so you do that right before dinner, and you do like if you're up early enough and can do it. And that's another thing too about scheduling posts. It's like there's a whole way to like it's a whole system in itself.
Mhm.
Like, and it's crazy how like social media is now a legitimate job. Like if you for anyone that wants Seabass to also, you feel free to reach out to Seabass if you want them to. He can do editing. He does this editing. So if you like it, hit him up. He can do more. You can pay him.
Bass of Sea.
In the Bass of Sea, at the All Blue, take a left.
Oh gosh. I wish you guys could have seen what Seabass just did.
I know we'll get a camera on one of these days.
One of these days.
But it's insane how that's gone. And I mean, it's a weird kind of talent in a way, but it's like one of those talents. It's like, you could use it for good or evil? It's like,
Yeah.
like, do you feel like social media is a net positive on society or a net negative?
Oh man, I think, I think, I think net positive because I like videos of babies.
Babies and puppies.
The only thing is that I don't know how many people out here are actually the people who like aren't cool. I don't know if it's one person with multiple accounts just being a dick, or if there's that many people who are just being like dicks, or if it's just like the government. Like, all right, yeah,
That
we're
could.
just gonna go out here and sow these seeds of like misinformation and doubt. Like, what if it's just like 8 out of 10 people are like cool, just on a very surface level. It's like, all right, cool.
They're chill.
This was not a bad interaction. What if that's the same thing, but there's so many other like user accounts that are out here that can be either bots or an actual person, but just trying to like spew hatred. And when somebody like spews hatred, and then the next two comments are of that person or somebody else
Reacting.
working towards that agenda, not even like a neutral 8 out of 10 person,
Yeah.
but just somebody else that's either on that team or that 2 out of 10 that like again makes this thing blow up. That's kind of where I'm wondering. You know, it's like I want to say as a whole net positive because I also think hey, you can just learn a bunch of useful things
Yeah.
with it, but it's like the misinformation and the hate that can be spread. I truly don't want to think that like it's not 50-50, like half the people are good, half the people. I think the vast majority of people are cool. This is what I choose to believe. I have no information to back this up. It's just I just feel it right here in my freaking stem.
You feel
Oh,
it.
goodness.
Yeah.
I feel it in my stem. That's why you were doing that. Thank you.
Yep.
I love you so much. I thought you were trying to be like a bluefin tuna or something. Sea bass. My bad. Jeez. Anyways, that's what I think about the internet. Net positive. What about you? What do you think?
I mean, I definitely think I think it's 40. 60% of people are very decent. There's a 40% of people that you can subdivide into the 20-20. Like, so there's 20% of people out of that 40% that are nefarious or have some kind of illness mentally. And I mean that gently. I don't mean that as just like a, oh, you're mentally ill. Like, no, I mean, I think there's people that do, especially in today's world where we're more confined, we don't get out as much, and we don't interact with people as much. That and the younger kids that are coming up that have grown up, I mean, kids born in 2000 are out there like in the world now.
Yeah,
They're 24 years old.
Yeah, dude.
And, like
They're trying to hit on you.
they're, and I'm like, you are a child. Go away.
Is that what you tell them? All of them?
Nah, it depends on how. It's like
24-year-old comes up to you.
I gotta check her ID.
She's 24. What do you mean? She's 24.
I mean,
You okay with that?
I'm not against it. It's like I feel like it's like I'm apprehensive.
That's fair.
But like I think there's 20% of those people out of that 40 that just they have they want some kind of attention, and it comes from a very, like it just comes from a upsetting place that they're trying to like be fulfilled in that way. Like they need some sort of validation from online interactions. Like me, I don't care. Like I'm doing this because I love talking with my friends. I want to hopefully do more with more interesting people. Kind of like how you and me were talking earlier. It's fun to like see what people think and just like go down that thought path. I think that's the 20% of people that just are looking for validation. They're looking for some kind of interaction. They're looking for a community of sorts. The rest are like that cool people, the 60%. And then there's the other 20%, which I think is just people that live to just post the most obscene things and bots. Like we could split that 20% into a 10-10. Just absolutely garbage people that are just horrible and they know they're on the internet and have anonymity. And then there's bots. I mean, Twitter, when Elon Musk bought it, he was talking about how much the FBI or the CIA was telling him they estimate this many accounts are bots, and it was scary high. Because I mean, to be fair, you have to have those bots accounts to like sway the algorithm. You pay someone to go out there and use bots to get your streams up, or you get your likes and reshares and all this other stuff up. So then the algorithm picks up on that certain benchmark and pushes it into more people. It's like accounts. So I mean, there's a way to pay to get in there, and I think that's like kind of goes back towards the 60% using that 40% to kick up the dirt. Because I mean, it takes a lot for me to comment on anything. If like you have to, you have to post something really, really like dumb, like, and I hate that the dumb stuff gets me. Like
what?
it's usually like guitar stuff.
All guitar stuff is dumb, Jared.
He didn't mean that. But I mean, like, there's music opinions, there's things like that, or just like like the biggest thing right now is how people just absolutely shat all over bass players. Like, there's that trend going on. It's like, hi, I'm the singer. Of course I'm late to band practice. Hi, I'm the drummer. Of course I can't hear. Hi, I'm the bass. And it just cuts them off early. It's like, they don't matter. I've seen it in worship, like, team videos. It's like, of course I'm the worship leader. I'm late and have a Starbucks. I'm the worship drummer. Of course I'm going to play off click. I'm the bass. And it just cuts off. And I'm like, even in the worship team? No! Like, yeah. Like, I hate, like, bass players matter, okay?
Should get a shirt.
He's
But
only saying this because he started playing bass.
I've been playing bass a lot more. I was totally on the shatting on team before, but
Yeah.
now that I'm,
You should have like a sticker.
It's like,
bass player lives matter.
I will do that and I'll walk through Little Fives and see how that goes.
Dude, somebody might buy you a coffee.
If it's, it's like, do you hate men? Are you a punk Muslim?
Right?
Did you go on a date with a banana?
Sheesh. She wouldn't know, but if
She did?
she would tell you. She didn't get that close to me.
Yeah, but I mean, like that kind of stuff. I mean, like, it's like unless it's like the only other thing I'll comment on is maybe like if it's like I still use Facebook a lot. Like, do we agree Facebook?
How old are you?
Exactly.
I'm kidding.
That's why we call him Dad.
Shink.
Ooh.
It's not because I'm fiscally responsible and take care of everybody. Like, nope.
It's all right, salt and pepper.
Did you smell it, Josh? You smell it, Seabass?
Huh?
I was assuming you could smell what I'm cooking up over here with that nose.
Get to your point. What is your point?
Sorry, we're taking stabs at each other. But yeah, like Facebook, like in other places, like in Instagram will do this too. Where they'll post something and then people will tag or comment on it and to like, hey, like, I so and so band looking for like drummer, bass player, guitar player, like, okay, comment on this and like we'll send you a DM. Like, there's stuff like that kind of ties into like working the algorithm. But like outside of that stuff, I never comment unless it's something dumb, like super dumb, like that. Or like I saw one the other day. It was like, you're never going to be as good as some kid in China somewhere doing exactly what you do, and the kid's in China just shredding on guitar, and it was like,
that's always been a thing.
yeah, that's what I was like. But I was like,
It's awesome.
it's like, thanks, man.
There you go.
It's something like, I mean, I'm like again, like I think the majority of people just haha, whatever, swipe, like,
maybe
move on.
Yeah.
Oh, that connected with me personally. I want to send it, or like I'll send like stuff to Seabass and you guys if it's like something I'm like, oh, we talked about this. This is about One Piece or this is about anime. Like I'll send that to you guys and stuff. But
dude, speaking of One Piece and anime, Dragon Con,
dude, we got to have a solid plan. I'm still scoping out hotels to see if
what it's too.
I took your advice and I kept like going back and looking at all these places to see if and
Still looking,
waiting for someone to drop out, seeing something.
It's okay.
I think we'll just have to have a different divide and conquer plan. We'll just
keep waiting and seeing. I've heard somebody mention they're like, oh, last year they saw some rooms open up on like they got the room on like the 4th of July.
Yeah,
but they'll do some other like drops. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, and they're doing the business thing, but I'm thinking what I'll do is try to find something a little bit more towards the perimeter, maybe a little bit further out, maybe not exactly necessarily mid-towny.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and then do what?
And then just like Uber Lyft there to someone else's like hotel room to kind of suit up or like arrive suited up, and then kind of disperse through there. So
as long as you're doing that at not peak times, that is affordable.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely get there, prepare for a long day, good shoes with comfy insoles, inserts, so that way it's like all the walking around, be solid, and then I want to take a play out of your book and definitely we're getting some pre-workout. We're dry scooping.
Bro, yeah, dude. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, yes. Also, little tip. I know you've got some friends.
Yes.
That are in the services. armed services or have been in the armed services.
Oh, okay, those services. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Those friends were in those services. Who?
No,
Yeah, no, we were thinking of different services.
we were. Anyways, with that, some hotels have veterans discounts.
Oh yes.
So if you're looking for a roommate or anything like that, or know somebody, then maybe you can have that
Them-
room booked under it
yeah.
and wink, wink, dapple, dapple.
Love
Fill in
it.
the blank. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Just saying.
but
Because there's a difference. There's a room that I was able to book for $828.
nice.
It is if you walk, it's 30 minutes. If you drive, 5 to 7.
Well, like I said,
Right.
at peak times though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to sit in traffic the whole time.
Yeah.
But a Dragon Con, room for the hotel discount
Yeah.
cost me $1,100.
Well,
so
and
$300 more.
well, the biggest thing is just getting the Dragon Con pass, so that way we can go into all the other hotels that have the events. Because that's what I was telling Seabass, since he's a very avid EDM. Would you say more EDM or house music is where you
I just listen to EDM every once in a while.
you make it sound like it's your main thing?
I mean, it's probably the main genre that I listen to.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was getting at.
But I'm not like, oh, I know these DJs and this DJ and that. I don't know.
Well, that's fine.
You don't know anybody?
Not really.
That's fair. Never mind.
Because one of the things I was
just
saying,
enjoy music.
Oh,
yeah,
Seabass, those people aren't going to be at Dragon Con anyways.
yeah,
They're
I'm
not.
just.
but
I'm telling you. They're
I
not.
mean, he was telling me to if you know DJs,
Maybe
he was
l-
telling me to look up DJs.
Well,
Possibly.
look them up, see if
For
there's one that
Dragon Con?
yeah,
Just
like
as a whole.
this as a whole. Well, I mean, in this particular case, Dragon Con, because if we see who's playing in what rooms, we can try to see if we like them enough to bounce around more than we normally would be.
Yeah, from the research that I've done as far as musical acts when it comes to Dragon Con, a lot of it is just sheerly you just requested it and then they chose you. Playing at Dragon Con is like playing for the Super Bowl. You're not gonna get paid. This is a volunteer gig, and if you get a merch table, you'll see a bump in your merch sales, and that's pretty much it. That's why you can go into some places, and I'm like, hey, do you have any future? And he's like, I don't have any hip hop at all. And I'm like,
We're playing nothing but retro Mario Party.
sheesh. See, and that would be cool too, but it's not those sorts of people.
Yeah.
It's odd, and I'm not a fan of it. But I'm glad I looked more into it, and I'm glad I sent you that freaking link, and you better be there next year.
Oh, I have it bookmarked. I have it sent out. I have it set up to schedule to send to my business account to apply for it as soon as it's open, even before it's open.
Good.
Because right now they're like, hey, we're not
Yeah,
taking
it's not. Yeah,
but
but next year.
that link to that specific page to be a part of the whole party. Because yeah, I mean, if me as a musical act get in there and absolutely kill it, me and my band usually do,
Mm.
yeah, what do I dress up on stage as? Because that's going to be crucial.
Well, I mean, that's gonna be between you and your bandmates, honestly.
Well, I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know
but
if all you're gonna dress up or just you.
I think we have to do all at that point.
It would be nice, but let's face it, I don't know. Because where I'm coming from it as, you are playing for free.
Yeah, but the
If you
exposure.
the exposure's there. If you're a house band, then you might, thankfully, you'll play all 4 days. You
Yeah.
might play multiple times all 4 days. If you have costumes, I just think that that's more money in the whole towards what it is versus if it's just you, then that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what everybody else's pockets are looking like, so I'm like, I don't know.
Well-
And if you get to be one of the main acts and you're only going to go once, then I could see you going in like that.
Yeah.
But also it's kind of like how much of your branding is it, because you're going to be able to sell merch there, and if whatever brand that you're pushing has a particular style or image they're going for and your cosplay doesn't reflect that, then you might not get the right people at your merch table.
Yeah. And it's there's not too many if I dressed up as an iconic rock star, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But if
But
I'm
you guys are Kiss for some reason, then yeah, I guess. I don't know.
that's a good point. Yeah. But I mean, I could totally see making Jaden or I say make, suggesting to Jaden hey, find a Mario Party, be like Luigi or be Mario, dress up as Mario as the bass player. But I feel like as a bass player, he'd have to be Luigi because that seems like some Luigi would do.
Some player 2 type stuff.
Yeah.
Or Bowser.
I'm trying to think what Ethan could do as a drummer because he's got to be sitting down.
He could just be a bomb.
He could be
Or a thwomp, actually a thwomp.
yeah.
Because he's just gonna. That's
Some-
just what he's doing the whole time.
I could see one of maybe the turtle characters. We could do like a Mario.
Oh,
Like,
he's the piranha plant.
yeah, that that
You could be Bowser, honestly.
I would definitely eat up Bowser, but we'd have to play Peaches, Peaches,
No,
Peaches.
you have to though. But like,
Yeah.
that's the point. Like, you would buy.
Oh God! And then making that set list that just like we definitely play "Sweet Victory" by SpongeBob.
Mhm.
Sweet, sweet victory, yeah. It's like
Just saying.
yeah. So, but we'll get the gig. We'll do it. We're gonna ball out, take every opportunity to get there, and but the thing is what I'm thinking is making a more strategic plan and videotaping as much as we can to do it, like just to promote this stuff, like go around and then post our experiences.
You're gonna have to vlog that whole thing.
oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I mean, a GoPro, honestly.
Yeah,
1 to 2 GoPros just to kind of see what's up. Like, especially like day of the event.
yeah.
Must needs to happen.
Yeah, I think I got a pretty solid plan. There's this gyroscopic 4K camera
Ooh.
that like you can rent. It's like $600 if you want to buy it, but I'm like, if I can rent it for a couple hundred, and then it's got a nice little like mic clip, so that way you can have something clipped on and it will pick up the audio. It's like, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way, like Seabass and I, we can walk around, we can do all the stuff, we can talk to some people, do the thing, do the vlogger thing, just say, hey, we're just doing it for fun. Like, obviously, you could tell this is not serious.
There you go. I like it. That could work.
But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking I'm going to go really in on the Wolverine cosplay,
You should.
especially with the 1986 or the recent X-Men that's
Mhm.
come out on, like, I think it was Disney Plus, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's like that old yellow neon like Wolverine outfit is back.
Right.
And I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine are also bringing it back. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that.
I don't look at trailers or spoilers.
That's fair.
I didn't see the outfit.
It looked pretty good. The better ones is like we came up with as being from JJK Ghetto.
Oh yeah, that was gonna be a fun
Oh,
one.
that would be fun.
Yeah, because like I'm willing to shave my beard because it'll grow back pretty fast. Like start off as like the guy from Full Metal Alchemist, the butcher, and then do Wolverine, and then kind of mosey on just find something else that I can either shave my face for, but then like doing like a one piece on the last day, and then Dragon Con speed dating.
That's right. So, for you viewers, that's an event that I'm thinking about putting on. Don't know if we can still put on events. Don't know if I can still submit them. But it would be speed dating. And with there being an app, I'd like it to be like, hey, sign up through the app, register, just so we can try to get an even number of guys and gals in there.
Or they thems.
Guys, gals, theys, thems, potatoes, potatoes, Autobots, Decepticons.
Autobots, Decepticons, we take all.
Jedi, Sith, don't matter.
Love stories don't start from just plain stuff.
Exactly. So I want to have one that's like scheduled, 1 or 2 that are scheduled, and then have one to where it's like, oh, this is I didn't know that. It's like, yeah, write your name down. Write your name down, write your number down. Depending on how many people are here, we'll send out a text
Yeah,
message.
I think that's a good point too, to have it's like if day of or something like that. It's like, all right, well, if you get a text message, like if we don't fill out already, it's like we have some people drop out, we'll text you, because like it could work to where it's like you have the general send out the message, which, ladies and gentlemen, you could make this a thing. If you see this become an Instagram short or YouTube, like reel, or you know what I'm saying, a short little video, you see this and you like it, tag DragonCon. Let's make it a thing. Let's let this be the first thing that we do as a podcast. That's all I'm saying. We can make something actually really important happen and change people's lives. But yeah, back to your point though. Facilitating it.
Yeah, it's really just, I would assume, just signing up through the app, letting it be greenlit, whatever information they would need from me. I'm sure that would be it. I honestly just think I need a microphone and like tables and chairs.
I got you.
And that's it. Yeah, I was hoping you were gonna get me.
Okay.
I want a microphone or a speaker.
I want to back this up 100%.
Good.
Any way I can. And then of course we just have to pull out the best Banana Man questions of all time, and just to use that as like encouraging icebreakers.
That's what I'm thinking too. I don't know if they have rooms with boards in it, but just kind of, hey, if they don't have a room with boards on it, then hey, there will be a question. I'm going to tape it to the wall. Bang, it'll be a little further back behind the person so you can hear some random questions.
Or we do a spinning the wheel thing. I love the spinning the wheel if you haven't seen. Like you just have like, we just make a wheel spinner.
Jared.
No?
No.
Okay.
That's too much.
I would just spin it so that way it's like, all right, guys, like
How do
what?
we make that? How do we buy that? I don't
Oh,
wanna
we
do
could make that.
it. I
Literally
don't
just
want to make it, Jared.
oh, well, then we could just put it on. We don't need to make it. We could literally put it on the like a
Jared.
PowerPoint and just project it
Okay.
and just spin the wheel with a
You
click
got
of
a
the.
projector?
I will. For this project, if this happens, I will rent a projector 100%.
Get this guy a camera first.
I have a camera for him. He just has to be there, and he's going to be there. I've bought his ticket. Seabass will be at Dragon Con.
Dude, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. But the biggest thing is like we'll walk around, we'll have the cameras, we'll do some vlogging, we'll do some like just exploring, and then like definitely like shooting the after parties and stuff like that, and make a little montage and splice it all together so you guys can see how great Dragon Con is. And maybe we bring some more anime folks into the fold.
So many.
Because I mean,
So many more.
one other fun debate that we have, and I guess we could probably wrap up on this debate: should cosplay be more acceptable in public?
This is gonna take so long.
So yeah,
Oh man, me 100% yes, but folks, I want you to know I'm not just a banana here. Like, I was feeling it the other day on Sunday, and I was like, okay, after church, I'm just gonna be a banana, and I did it. I didn't go to Sam's Club, but typically I'll go to Sam's Club or I'll go to the gym, and I'm a banana. It's like Demon Slayer, I'll walk around with a kimono, but I think for some people I think for everybody it's okay. But I also think depending on what you look like, people are more socially acceptable. Because it's like, underneath this banana,
it's a pretty man.
right? I'm a big black dude. No one's gonna tell me to not wear a kimono. They're not gonna walk up to me. They're gonna say, "Where'd you get that kimono? I actually want that."
That's really cool, man.
It's
Keep
really
it up.
cool."
So would you say you can do it just because you can't be bullied?
I'd say me personally, yeah. But I also don't really care what people think. Like
You're
me-
also unbullyable.
yeah, I think so.
Even if you were like not that size, and you were just still banana man,
Yeah.
but a small
I
banana.
think I got the right energy for it.
Yeah, you just
like-
brush it off.
What are you, banana? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, what are you, colorblind like Jared?
What are you? Yeah. But
No,
like,
I'm a
that's-
plantain.
That's the fun part about it. I think a little bit too many people are in their head. I think there's like levels to it. Like there's some people who don't dance in public, but they're good at dancing, and it's like they're just too in their head. There's some people that could be really good at cosplaying, but they don't want to cosplay because they're just too in their head.
Because when me and Seabass were debating this as friends, like I was
Not as enemies.
no, because
Okay.
we both had our caveats, and one of the caveats we kind of hung on was male cosplay versus female cosplay is very different. Because a female cosplay character be quite scandalous.
If
But-
you dress up as a female.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. But to that caveat of the caveat, I think if there's even like you can like the Halloween costumes, like this is cosplay, so it's you can take anything in a Halloween like setting and just if you want to make it a girl costume, like for 18 older girls, that is specifically, you can make it sexy fire lady,
Mhm.
sexy cop. You could just put sexy and just cut off like 60% of the fabric, and then it's a girl's costume. And to be fair, we have seen, and there is I feel like a trend
Yes.
of guys that are very jacked dudes that come to a Dragon Con in the French maid outfit.
Yeah, they're just maids. Yeah.
Oh, that's been going on for years.
Yeah,
been
so
for years.
like let's just make sure everyone understands that is a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's awesome because those dudes are ripped, and it's like I need to get their pre-workout, or I need all their like supplements. That's but anyway, the female cosplaying can be if they choose to, they can be a little more revealing. So that's why we can draw lines like, hey, maybe don't have like your tatas and your booty out in like the produce section at Kroger.
You can do that with regular clothes.
True, and still you can
It's
be
just don't be publicly indecent. That's all.
That's really where I'm at with it. Yeah.
yeah.
That's where.
Don't be weird.
That's where we kind of landed together. It's
Yeah,
like
but for a while you kept pushing back that it's like, well, it's cosplay. It's a costume, so you don't wear that just anywhere. Costumes are just outfits.
Yeah, they're just outfits. They're just clothes.
and
It's
you,
just an assorted outfit,
I mean, it is like I said, and the big part of this is just
usually
like
with an accessory
usually like a scythe,
or anything, earrings, whatever.
Dragon
tattoo,
Balls.
something.
Dragon Balls, Dragon Balls. Like
Yeah.
I just remember Joseph, his wife, bought him a pair of Dragon Ball underwear, but the Dragon Balls were right where his balls were, But she's so innocent and like sweet. Like she didn't realize how he's like laughing his butt off about it. She's like, "Did you know that? Oh, this is perfect." She's like, "What? Yeah, it's your dragon orbs."
Orbs. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes, he's like, she doesn't even
That's so
understand how cool
sweet.
this is.
Oh man,
But yeah,
hugs and kisses.
so but then the other point is then it's costume play is cosplay. We understand that it's a costume. You're having fun with it. Like when my band and I we were playing at the Conyers Festival like last weekend, there was a guy dressed up as Johnny Depp, and he was going around taking pictures, and he was kind of contracted as like a professional cosplayer to come around and be Captain Jack Sparrow. So, cool. Furries, not cool.
Fair.
We all agree on that.
I think some people take it too far.
I think that I mean,
Like, if you're like, hey, I identify as a cat. Now get me a litter box in high school.
yeah, that's like no.
That is too far.
If you just want to be playful about it, and it's like I'm a dog, and haha, like pet me, and like you play and you keep it playful.
Yeah.
We can maybe let more slide.
We don't have to make this sexual.
That's yes. So
Don't have to make it sexual.
at least we all agree on that.
Yeah.
And I think also something else that I think would be really cool, and I saw this on an Instagram page where a cosplayer would take like she had a picture of Vegeta, and then she kind of styled like a modern like clothes, like just took all the color palettes, found clothes that matched it, and put it all together. So she was like sports like woman, like business woman Vegeta like themed, and I thought it was awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah, she did one for like Vegeta, Piccolo, a couple other like characters. And I think that's kind of cool to keep it under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Why does it need to be under the radar?
I'm like, dude, like, look,
He's trying to hide his shame, dude.
hey,
We're
it's my
trying to
kink.
hide
I mean, that's where
Yeah.
my whole thing with it is that the person's having fun.
Yeah.
The only reason to be against it is literally due to societal pressures.
Yeah.
Which-
Nothing else.
But we
Danger.
live in a society, and
As long as they're not being indecent
Yeah.
in public or
but you can understand.
kind of just in general, as long as they're not being indecent with what they're wearing.
Yeah, but it's
Who
also,
cares?
but then it's like, does that expand then to like getting the like you should be allowed to wear that to work?
That's
I
but
mean-
there's dress code at places. Like even though it's acceptable for me to walk around shirtless at Dragon Con or shirtless at MomoCon, if I go into the CNN Center to get some food,
They
they
require.
don't care. They're like, put a shirt on. That's what they tell me.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the kind of thing. It's like, so like, you want to go out and walk around the park in your costume, cool. You want to go meet up with other people and dress up as a certain character from or a bunch of anime characters from a certain like anime. You're having fun in the park. If you happen to get hungry and wander into a Kroger, okay. Like the biggest point that me and Seabass were going back and forth on is like, yeah, no, a bad person, like we were talking, like the same people about the comments. The bad person is going to be a dick and run up to you and like, you look stupid in that, and just like try to goad a reaction out of you.
You were that person.
No,
You said you should bully them.
I said you should bully the furries. To be fair,
You said you should bully people in cosplay.
the ones that
because
go
it's
too far,
different.
the ones that go
Oh.
too far, like furries, we could have less furries if they bullies.
Furries.
Make bullying great again is what I say.
That is
Don't be a jerk. Just be leveled and like, hey man, if you want me to take you seriously, don't poop in a litter box.
that's fair.
So
Jeez.
just do it right, do it tastefully.
Bully furries.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, and some of them wear leashes and collars and stuff, so they might really get off on the bullying. So that might backfire.
Yeah. Oh man, there's a guy. Dragon Con last year.
Is this,
I can't believe that brought up a story, but all right.
It's
that's
it.
Dragon Con
But
for you, baby.
It's a very short story. So it's a guy. He's not in a cosplay. He has a shirt on. Paint a picture of what this guy looks like. Big black guy. Not as tall as me. Wearing jeans, all black shirt, white writing. It says on his shirt, "Don't bully me.
I'll come.
I'll come."
That's a good way to not get bullied. But hey,
Or a great way to get bullied. I don't know.
like I'm just saying, if you're having fun with it, we agree. There's having fun with stuff. There's a spectrum. All the people that are dicks and want to talk down to you while you're having fun are going to do it no matter what. I'm just saying, kind of like with we're in agreement here. Just keep it decent. Keep it at worst PG-13. I think we can kind of assume PG-13 is not anything worse than what the women are sometimes wearing out there in public anyway. Yeah.
I'm
Sure.
not 13, I wouldn't know.
Good point.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules for those standards, so.
But yeah. Anyway, but y'all keep in touch. We got a lot of good stuff coming up for Dragon Con. Banana Man's going to make many appearances. You'll see if you see a dance of banana and you happen to actually see this podcast, come say hello and stay tuned and shoot any more questions in the comments and stuff like that. And Banana Man and I and Seabass we'll dive into it. We'll get heated. We'll get cool. We'll get back to heated. We'll find out that we all agree about the same stuff, just in different ways, and it'll be great. But yeah, man, the return of Banana Man, as always, a spectacular episode.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
And y'all remember, stay strange. Yeet.